Chapter 870, Turning the Tide, 1. Twisting Heaven and Earth? Ah, you're really bold. Chu Xing didn't expect Xiao Changtian to be so arrogant, but since he said it, he would satisfy him. All right, then the two of us will write these 4 big words and see who can write them better. Chu Xing nodded. He wanted to make Xiao Changtian admit defeat. Then, the two of them began to move their hands. Chu Xing spread out the xian paper he had brought with him and began to move his hands. On the other hand, Xiao Changtian was still slowly spreading the paper while Chu Xing was dancing on the paper. After a while, Chu Xing finished writing the words twisting heaven and earth. That Taoist Chu Xing is indeed a person who has practiced calligraphy for so many years. I seem to feel the power of the great Tao in this calligraphy. Looking at Chu Xing's calligraphy, the surrounding onlookers exclaimed. When they saw the two people writing calligraphy in the Gloria Star restaurant, they could not help but come over. When they saw the words written by Chu Xing, they were all extremely surprised. He seemed to be Chu Xing from the Jade Nether Kingdom. Finally, someone in the crowd exclaimed, "What? It was that calligraphy saint, Chu Xing." Upon hearing this name, the people in the crowd suddenly became excited. They did not expect that this Taoist Chu Xing would actually come to their star town. This was simply big news. I never thought that I would be able to see Taoist Chu Xing's handwriting in my lifetime. Yes, this word is simply a divine stroke. No one can compare to him. At this moment, everyone around was praising the 4 words written by Chu Xing. Hearing the praises of the people around him, Taoist Chu Xing had a smug look on his face. He knew that his name was still very useful. Wasn't he recognized? Hearing the praises of the people around him, Taoist Chu Xing smiled and nodded at them. As expected of Chu Xing. He's actually so amiable. He even nodded at us just now. I wonder if I can ask him for an autograph later. On the other side, everyone was praising Chu Xing while Xiao Changtian was pointing at the beginning. What is that Taoist Chu Xing so proud of? Let's see how Senior will make him admit defeat later. Looking at Chu Xing and the white beasts, he said disdainfully. He would let this Taoist Chu Xing be smug for a while longer and see how Senior would crush him later. Under such circumstances, Xiao Changtian finally began to write on the paper. Twist. Looking at the white paper, Xiao Changtian murmured. Turn. Qian. Kuan. These 4 words were written by Xiao Changtian in one go. It's done. Looking at his own handwriting, Xiao Changtian gently put down the brush in his hand. Ah, you're finally done. Let me see how good your writing is. After saying that, Chu Xing was about to take Xiao Changshan's words and mock him. However, just as he walked to Xiao Changshan's table, his pupils constricted and his face was filled with shock. At the same time, his body trembled slightly. Did you write this? Then, Chu Xing looked at Xiao Changtian in shock. He couldn't believe that this mortal in front of him could actually write such words. The words in front of him were not just words, but even the energy contained in them did not dare to look directly at them. At this moment, the words twisting heaven and earth were no longer words, but could really turn the world around. Immediately, Chu Xing quickly moved his eyes away from Xiao Changshan's words. He felt that if he continued reading, not only would he be able to turn the tables, but he would also be able to turn the tables. Hey old man, I wrote these words here. Did everyone see it? Xiao Changtian rolled his eyes at Taoist Chu Xing. Could it be that this Taoist priest Chu Xing wanted to go back on his word? However, he would not give him the chance to go back on his word. You were also the one who wrote the signboard for Gloria Star restaurant. At this moment, Chu Xing finally believed that the plaque outside was written by Xiao Changtian. And he had unintentionally offended such a senior. No, I said, what's wrong with you, old man? I said that I wrote that plaque from the beginning, but you didn't believe me. Looking at Chu Xing in front of him, Xiao Changtian was getting impatient. This old man was really looking for trouble. He would definitely kick him out later. All right, since both of us have finished writing, it's time to determine the winner. Then, Xiao Changtian placed his words together with Chu Xing's words without hesitation. How is it? This time, he would let everyone decide whose handwriting was better. Xiao Changtian turned around and said to the people around him, Everyone was attracted by Xiao Changshen's words. There were also many cultivators around. When they saw Xiao Changshen's words, all of them widened their eyes in surprise. They couldn't believe that someone could write to this extent. Twisting heaven and earth. It can really turn the tables. Looking at Xiao Changshen's words, the cultivators around him murmured. They could feel how powerful Xiao Changshen's words were. Not good. Everyone, don't look at it yet. The energy in these words is too strong. We can't resist it at all. Immediately, someone shouted. That person only looked at it for 2 seconds, but he could feel that his soul was being attacked by the words twisting heaven and earth. This Xiao Changtian was simply too terrifying. Compared to Chu Sheng's words immediately dimmed. It could even be said that with Xiao Changshen's words beside him, no one would notice Chu Sheng's words at all. Even an ordinary mortal could feel a majestic aura from Xiao Changshen's words. This aura was something that Taoist Chu Sheng could not compare to. I didn't expect that this Taoist Chu Sheng couldn't even compare to the owner of the Glorious Star restaurant. I wonder how the title of calligraphy saint landed on Taoist Chu Sheng's head. At this moment, the moment Xiao Changtian took out his calligraphy, everyone's attitude changed. Each of them praised Xiao Changtian, and each of them doubted Chu Sheng. How is it? Who do you think will win? Xiao Changtian asked with a smile. Senior, is there a need to ask? Of course you won. Who the hell is that Taoist Chu Sheng? He can't even compare to you. Limitless, who was standing at the side, immediately stood up and said loudly when he saw the situation in front of him. Chapter 871. Unacceptable. 1. It had to be said that this was really venting his anger. That Taoist priest Chu Sheng had thought that he was a big shot just because he had some status in the Jade Nether Kingdom. Now he had been slapped in the face by a senior. This was really venting his anger. You guys. Alright, I admit that your calligraphy is indeed better than mine. I admit it. Chu Sheng had never suffered such humiliation before. This was the field that he was best at. He had lost to a mortal in calligraphy. He had used the spirit brush, while Xiao Changtian had used the most ordinary brush and ink. Chu Sheng couldn't accept all of this. He didn't expect that Taoist Chu Sheng didn't go back on his word. Xiao Changtian thought that Taoist Chu Sheng would go back on his word and run away. He was already prepared. He didn't expect that Taoist Chu Sheng would admit it. Since you've lost, then give the spirit brush to Senior. Looking at Taoist Chu Sheng, Limitless mocked him. Looking at how arrogant they were, Chu Sheng gritted his teeth in anger. These people were simply too infuriating. After this incident, he would definitely think of a way to teach these guys a lesson. Finally, looking at Xiao Changtian in front of him, Chu Sheng reluctantly took out his spiritual brush. After all, he was a public figure. Although this place was not big, if it was spread that he had broken the bet, not only would it affect him, but it would also affect the person behind him. Hurry up and bring it over. Seeing Chu Sheng's hesitation, Xiao Changtian impatiently took the brush from his hand. Is this pen not good either? I thought it was something good. Looking at the spirit brush in his hand, Xiao Changtian criticized it without hesitation. He wasn't targeting Chu Sheng, but he had seen many brushes that were much better than this one. And now, this old man, such a lousy pen, was so precious to him. He must have been scammed by someone. It seemed like he must have been scammed of a large sum of money. However, he still had to accept it. After all, this was a lesson for this old man. He wanted to see if this old man would still cause trouble for no reason next time. Hearing Xiao Changshen's words, Chu Sheng was furious. It was fine if his treasure had lost, but Xiao Changtian still said that. Although Taoist Chu Sheng was very angry, he couldn't do anything about it. After all, this person's calligraphy was so awesome. He didn't know how strong he was. If he didn't have eyes, he would definitely be finished. Humph. Looking at the current scene, Taoist Chu Sheng knew that there was no need for him to stay any longer. Hence, he glared fiercely at Limitless and the others before leaving. This is too good. That old man should be treated like this. Wu Jiang said happily. Do you still know each other? Xiao Changtian looked at Boundless and asked. Of course, Senior. That Taoist Chu Sheng is a sarcastic hypocrite. This time, it can be considered a fierce slap to his face. Limitless didn't hide the fact that he knew Taoist priest Chu Sheng and confessed openly. I see. No wonder you look so distressed. This pen must have cost that old Taoist a lot of money. However, to him, this pen was useless. He would just put it away and eat the dust. By the way, Lorraine, how's the income of our Gloria Star restaurant in the past few months? Xiao Changtian turned around and asked. Senior, don't worry, I've calculated it for you. In these few months, your net income is 500,000 gold coins. Looking at Xiao Changtian, Lorraine immediately reported. 500,000. Xiao Changtian was very surprised when he heard this number. He didn't expect it to be so much. It was beyond his expectation. He didn't expect this Gloria Star restaurant to be so popular. However, Xiao Changtian thought about it again. Although it was so much, if he exchanged it with the system, it wouldn't be worth much. But senior, I have a piece of news that I don't know if I should tell you. Looking at Xiao Changtian, Luo Lan said hesitantly. It's okay. Go ahead. Xiao Changtian was a little confused. Was there anything wrong with this? That's right, senior. You originally wanted to have an income of 700,000 yuan, but Pixiu. He ate 200,000 gold coins. We managed to hide the remaining 500,000 with great difficulty. Luo Lan said to Xiao Changtian with some embarrassment. Although she didn't know if the senior would be angry, she knew that this matter couldn't be hidden. What? How much did you eat? Xiao Changtian couldn't believe his ears. Did Lorraine just say 200,000? Could it be that he had heard wrongly? Senior, you didn't hear wrongly. The Pai Xiu ate 200,000. Lorraine said helplessly. After all, they couldn't directly attack the senior's pet. They could only slightly block it, although it wasn't very useful. Hearing Luo Lan's confirmation, Xiao Changtian almost fainted. He was wondering why he hadn't seen the Pixiu in the small courtyard for the past few days. So it turned out that they had come here to steal food. However, this was too much. 200,000 gold coins. That was 200,000 gold coins. How long would it take for him to earn it back? No, he had to teach Pixiu a good lesson. If he dared to eat again, he had to break his teeth. On the other side, in the territory of the demons. Sixth brother, are you going to find trouble with Xiao Changtan? What's wrong? The devil asked as he looked at Sacred Master 6. Of course, I want Xiao Changtian to die a horrible death. This time, he didn't get any useful information. He was even taught a lesson. He didn't expect that he would be taught a lesson by the demonic flame's sacred lord not only at Xiao Changshan's place but also when he came back. And all of this was because of that kid called Xiao Changtian. When had he ever been bullied like this? This time, he had to teach him a lesson no matter what. But didn't the demonic flame's sacred lord warn you not to go find Xiao Changtan? What's wrong? The demon asked carefully when he saw the anger on Sacred Master Sax's face. If he doesn't let me go, can't I go secretly? Saint Master 6 glared at him and said, Don't follow me this time. You guys are simply burdens. Thinking back to what happened last time, Holy Master 6 was still angry. If it wasn't for the fact that these people didn't bring gold coins, would they have ended up being criticized by everyone? This time, he must make Xiao Changtian suffer. Chapter 872, Anger, 1. On the other side, Xiao Changtian angrily found Pai Xiu who was hiding in a corner of the Gloria Star restaurant. Damned Pai Xiu, I'm going to teach you a good lesson today. Looking at Pai Xiu hiding in the corner, Xiao Changtian grabbed him by the back of his neck and pulled him out. Pai Xiu, who was dragged out by Xiao Changtian, looked at Xiao Changtian with a wronged expression, as if Xiao Changtian had done something wrong to him. You stole so many of my gold coins and you still feel wronged. Looking at Pai Xiu, Xiao Changtian said fiercely. This Pai Xiu had eaten so many of his gold coins, and even its body was much bigger than before. It seemed that the 200,000 gold coins were not wasted. Woo-woo. Pai Xiu looked at Xiao Changtian questioning him and whimpered in grievance. Senior, it's all my fault. I couldn't keep an eye on Pai Xiu. At this moment, Feng Linge suddenly appeared and looked at Xiao Changtian. Because Feng Linge was afraid of Pai Xiu, She didn't dare to care about Pai Xiu, which was why such a big disaster had happened. Ling, this isn't your fault. This Pai Xiu naturally likes this gold coin. However, after this incident, this Pai Xiu could forget about stepping out of the courtyard. After that, Xiao Changtian angrily dragged Pai Xiu and walked towards the courtyard. Along the way, Xiao Changtian kept teaching the Pai Xiu in his hands a lesson. Because Pai Xiu had eaten too much this time, even Xiao Changtian, who had a good temper, couldn't help but get angry. In the future, you should stay in this small courtyard. Without my order, if you dare to step out of this small courtyard, watch how I teach you a lesson. After a while, Xiao Changtian walked to the small courtyard and threw Pai Xiu into the courtyard. Xiao Changtian said fiercely, "Oh right, Ling Er, don't dare to touch these animals just because you offended me. If these animals dare to do anything, teach them a good lesson." Xiao Changtian turned around and said to Feng Ling, "All right, senior. They'll remember it." Feng Ling nodded at Xiao Changtian. Pai Xiu, who was thrown into the courtyard by Xiao Changtian, walked to the white tiger with a wronged expression. "Brother Hu, what should we do? Master is angry." Pai Xiu looked at the white tiger with an aggrieved expression. "I told you not to eat so much, but you didn't listen. Master is angry. We can't do anything about it." The white tiger looked at Pai Xiu and said helplessly. This Pai Xiu was so gluttonous. Moreover, he ate his master's favorite gold coins. Now that he had been discovered, how could he not be scolded by his master? "Perhaps you can make up for your mistakes." At this moment, Black Tortoise looked at Pai Xiu and said, "Make up for it?" Hearing this, Pai Xiu immediately perked up. If he could really make up for his mistakes, then his master would definitely be happy. If Senior was happy, he might not restrict his freedom anymore. To Pai Xiu, staying in this small courtyard and not being allowed to go out was a very uncomfortable punishment. Isn't it easy to make up for your mistakes? You can find more gold coins than you eat and bring them back to Master. When Master sees so many gold coins, will he be angry? Black Tortoise looked at Pai Xiu and said indifferently, "Good idea, Brother Turtle. Why didn't I think of this?" When Pai Xiu heard this idea, he looked at Black Tortoise in surprise. As expected of an old bastard who had lived for such a long time. The idea was good. "Don't call me Brother Turtle. I've lived much longer than you. I can even be your grandfather." Black Tortoise glanced at Pai Xiu helplessly and said, "All right, Master Turtle. But now, Master doesn't even let me out of the small courtyard. How can I find so many gold coins?" Then, Pai Xiu said helplessly, "Are you stupid? Why don't you sneak out?" The white tiger smiled and said, "Anyway, Senior isn't in the small courtyard most of the time. Even if you sneak out, he won't know." "Brother Hu, you're right. I understand." Hearing White Tiger's words, Pai Xiu nodded in agreement. Anyway, Feng Ling was afraid of him. He would sneak out and find the gold coins and bring them back to his master. His master would definitely be happy. Meanwhile, in the barbarian sect, the barbarian tribe sect master looked at the barbarian tribe elder in front of him with a determined expression. This time, we'll apologize to that expert properly. I wonder if that expert will forgive us. The barbarian tribe sect master looked at the barbarian tribe elder and said worriedly. Ever since the barbarian tribe's sect master had experienced that incident, he had been very regretful. After returning, not only did he apologize to the barbarian elder, he also taught Manly a lesson. This damned Manly actually dared to provoke such an expert. Although that expert had said that he would let him go before he left, the barbarian sect leader still felt uneasy. He was very afraid that if that expert was suddenly unhappy one day, he would casually destroy their barbarian sect. Thinking about the consequences, the sect master of barbarian sect felt his hair stand on end. The barbarian elder shook his head helplessly when he saw the leader of the barbarian sect. Back then he had advised this sect master, but he refused to listen. Now he had to provoke that expert. That expert had a bad impression of their barbarian sect to begin with. After the sect master's interference, they actually wanted that expert to forgive them. However, the barbarian elder did not dare to tell the barbarian sect master about this. Sect Master, as long as the things we bring suit that expert's wishes, he might forgive us. The barbarian elder looked at the barbarian sect master and said slowly, "Oh right, I brought so many artifacts this time. It doesn't necessarily suit the master's heart. Oh right, elder, hurry up and call over the beautiful women who were paid tribute by the other sects the day before yesterday." Then, the sect leader of the barbarian sect thought of something and quickly said. Not long after, the barbarian elder brought the beautiful women who had been paid tribute by other sects 2 days ago. I'm really smart. That expert might not be interested in the treasure aura, but these beauties were not ordinary. Such a woman was rarely seen in the Jade Lake's sacred world. Presumably, that expert had never experienced it before. Looking at the few women in front of him, the barbarian sect master said with a satisfied expression. It was not because of anything else, but because these women were very different from the women in the Jade Lake sacred world. This is a woman who has paid tribute to other sects, but she is a legitimate woman. It had taken so many years to find these lamia. From this, one could see how rare lamia were. That expert must not have experienced it before, because the few snake girls in the Jade Lake sacred world were all here. If these snake girls can make the master happy, then the master will definitely not pursue our barbarian sect. Chapter 873, Pixius Operation 1. Sect Master, your method is really thoughtful. Looking at the few snake girls in front of him, the barbarian elder nodded. Presumably, that expert did not lack women by his side, but he definitely lacked these unique women. No matter what, he would just follow the sect master. However, in that case, we should go a few days later. These snake girls must be properly nurtured in the middle gate for the next few days. The leader of the barbarian sect looked at the snake girls in front of him and nodded. On the other side, the great elder of the prophecy pavilion had also arrived at the glorious star pavilion. Senior, when are you going to look for the next spirit tree seed? He looked at Xiao Chongtan and asked the great elder of the prophecy pavilion. Naturally, the sooner we find it, the better. Xiao Chongtan looked at the great elder and replied, "What's wrong? Great elder, do you have something you need my help with?" If not for something, the great elder of the prophecy pavilion would not have come to find him at this time. That's right, senior. Our pavilion of heavenly secrets does indeed have a matter that requires your help. It's about the demons. The great elder of the prophecy pavilion said with a serious expression. Great elder, if you have anything to say, just say it. I promised you before that I would help you. Xiao Changtian was not surprised when he heard this because he had heard that the demons were becoming more and more rampant. Senior, with your answer, I can be at ease. However, this matter will have to wait a few more days because the specific situation has not been confirmed. The great elder of the pavilion of heavenly secrets nodded. He was afraid that Xiao Changtian would go to find the seed of the spirit tree and would not have time to help them deal with the devil race. Since I've promised you, then you can rest assured. I can wait for a period of time before looking for the spirit tree seed. Xiao Changtian replied firmly. However, at this moment, the first elder of the prophecy pavilion suddenly felt that something was wrong. It's really strange. Why is there a demon aura in this place? This was because the great elder's cultivation was not as profound as the pavilion master's. Therefore, when the demons possessed ordinary people, the great elder of the pavilion of heavenly secrets could not see through them at a glance. No, this must be the aura of a demon. The grand elder of the prophecy pavilion looked around with a serious expression. Did that person from the pavilion of heavenly secrets discover me? Sacred Master 6, who had possessed an ordinary person, looked at the great elder of the prophecy pavilion and muttered guiltily. This time, in order to find trouble with Xiao Changtian, he had deliberately robbed a lot of gold coins before coming. Moreover, he thought that his disguise was flawless. And how did that person from the pavilion of heavenly secrets discover him? He must have been too worried. He just had to pretend to be an ordinary person. Strange, is this the aura of the demon race? The first elder of the prophecy pavilion looked around and muttered with some uncertainty. What's wrong with the great elder? Is there something going on around here? Xiao Changtian asked curiously as he saw the great elder of the Pavilion of Heavenly Secrets looking around with a mysterious expression. It's nothing. I think my eyes are playing tricks on me. The great elder of the Pavilion of Heavenly Secrets tried to sense it again and found that the aura of the devil race had disappeared. He smiled apologetically at Xiao Changtian and said, "Damn, I thought something was wrong." The great elder's actions made Xiao Changtian wary. In the end, the great elder was wrong. Xiao Changtian was relieved. "Phew, you scared me. Fortunately, I reacted quickly." Saint Master 6 said guiltily. Fortunately, when he saw the great elder of the Prophecy Pavilion, he quickly tried his best to conceal his aura. That was why the great elder of the Prophecy Pavilion did not sense it again. Since there's nothing else, then Senior, I'll go back first. After bidding farewell to Xiao Changtian, the great elder of the Pavilion of Heavenly Secrets walked out of the glorious Star Pavilion. "Haha, Xiao-chan, let's see how I'm going to deal with you this time." The great elder of the Prophecy Pavilion had already left. Saint Master 6 came back to his senses and looked at Xiao Changtian, who was far away. At this moment, outside the Glorious Star restaurant, Pai Xiu was crouching in the dark. I didn't expect that the owner's Glorious Star Tower had the most aura of gold coins. Pai Xiu said helplessly. Originally, he had planned to find a place with a lot of gold coins and steal them back for his master. He didn't expect that the place with the most gold coins aura would be his master's Starflower restaurant. I definitely can't touch master's gold coins. In that case, I'll find the customer with the most gold coins in the Glorious Star restaurant. Pai Xiu thought of this and nodded. Then, in order not to be discovered by its master, Pai Xiu quickly concealed its aura. Pai Xiu jumped onto the windowsill of Glorious Star restaurant. Wow, that person actually took so many gold coins. When Pai Xiu jumped onto the windowsill, he saw Sacred Master 6 sitting there. At the same time, Pai Xiu could feel that Sacred Master 6 was the one who had the most gold coins among everyone present. Since that's the case, my target this time is you. Pai Xiu looked at Holy Master 6 and chuckled. Then, Pai Xiu jumped to the feet of Sacred Master 6. Meow meow. Before this, Pai Xiu had transformed into the shape of a cat. Therefore, he was squatting beside Holy Master X's feet and meowing. Where did this cat come from? Saint Master 6, who was thinking about how to deal with Xiao Changtian, suddenly heard a meow. Go to the side and play. Don't disturb me. Looking at the Pai Xiu under his feet, Holy Master 6 said impatiently. I'm so cute, and you're chasing me away? Hearing Holy Master X's words, Pai Xiu said, however, you're going to be so unlucky that he'll steal all your gold coins. I won't fuss over it with you. Then, Sacred Master 6 saw Pai Xiu jump to his side. Why is this silly cat so annoying? Seeing Pai Xiu jump to his side, Holy Master 6 said impatiently. Then, Holy Master 6 impatiently stretched out his hand towards Pai Xiu, wanting to chase this damn cat away. However, before Sacred Master 6 could make a move, Pai Xiu jumped onto his body and quickly ran away. F*CK, how F*, King unlucky? Sacred Lord 6, who was shocked by Pai Xiu's actions, said angrily. However, Saint Master 6 immediately suppressed his anger because the white beast was walking towards him. Waiter, is your boss still the chef today? The Sacred Lord immediately called out to the white beast. This customer, our boss is not that free, the white beast said with a smile. However, the other chefs in our Glorious Star restaurant are still very good. Alright. In that case, give me a few signature dishes. Holy Master 6 replied in disappointment. He didn't expect Xiao Changfeng to not cook today. Chapter 874, East End Robber 1. This was because the person that Sacred Master 6 possessed was completely different from the previous person. Therefore, no one realized that the person who came this time was still Sacred Master 6. Soon, the table was filled with dishes. Saint Master 6 looked at the table full of dishes and fell into deep thought. How should he make Xiao Changtian pay the price this time? I still have the green devil worms. At this moment, the Saint Lord suddenly remembered that he still had the green demon worms. This kind of worm was colorless and tasteless. When he ate half of it, he would put it in the dish and then extort Xiao Changtian. Thinking that Xiao Changtian was going to be blackmailed by him, Saint Master 6 was so happy that he started to eat the dishes on the table. Not long after, Holy Master 6 began his own actions. "Waiter, come here quickly. Why are there worms in your meat?" After putting the green demon worm into the meat, Holy Master 6 shouted at the people in the Glorious Star restaurant. This time, he wanted to attract more people and put Xiao Changtian on the spot. "Sir, what's wrong?" The white beast ran over when it heard the sound. "How do you cook in this place? Why are there worms in this dish?" Sacred Master 6 pointed at the green demon worms on the table. "It shouldn't be. How can the dishes in our Xinghua restaurant have worms?" The white beast looked at the green bug in surprise. The white worm was still lying on the meat, looking especially disgusting. "I don't care. Hurry up and call your boss over. I want to ask him what's going on." Holy Master 6 shouted with a righteous expression. "What happened? What happened?" However, before the white beast could move, Xiao Changtian walked over and asked. Xiao Changtian was about to leave when he heard a commotion. He walked over and asked, "Boss, quickly take a look at what's going on. There are worms in your vegetables. Besides, I don't think this is simple." Then, Sacred Master 6 began his plan. "I know that even if you come into contact with this kind of insect, it will be fatal. Your Star Glory restaurant actually joked about the safety of your customers. Fortunately, I saw it. If I had accidentally eaten it, I would probably be dead by now." Sacred Lord 6 then looked at the people who were eating and shouted, "Everyone, it's best to eat slowly. Be careful of such insects in the dishes. If you eat these insects, it'll really kill you." Saint Master 6 sneered at Xiao Changtian. Xiao Changtian looked at Sacred Master 6 as if he was looking at a retard. "Sir, do you have any evidence to prove that this worm is in our dish? Moreover, such a poisonous worm is still alive and kicking. I'm afraid you didn't put it there yourself." Xiao Changtian retorted, "I put it there myself. Why should I find trouble for nothing?" Saint Master 6 didn't expect Xiao Changtian to react differently from him. "What else? It must be because you realized that you didn't have the money to pay for your meal. Just think of this despicable move." This reminded Xiao Changtian of the same thing that the last customer said to him. He looked at Holy Master 6 with disdain. "Damn it, I have plenty of money. Is there a need not to pay for your meal?" When he thought of the previous incident, the Sixth Lord's face still felt like it was burning. However, this time, he had robbed quite a lot of gold coins. He could even afford to pay for 10 meals, let alone one. After saying that, Holy Master 6 was about to take out the gold coins that he had just robbed. However, what he did not expect was that even after he searched his entire body, the coins he had just robbed were gone. What happened? This was impossible. He had put his own blood in this pocket. Saint Master 6's expression changed, and he touched his pocket in embarrassment. I knew it. This person must have no money to pay for the meal and found this excuse." At this moment, the surrounding people were all attracted over. They didn't believe the words of Sacred Master 6. "Tisk, white beast, I'll leave this person to you. I still have something to do and will go out first." Xiao Changtian rolled his eyes at the Saint Lord. "Why are there always people trying to escape orders? No, I must set a rule in Glorious Star Restaurant in the future." Hey, don't go," Saint Lord 6 said anxiously as he watched Xiao Changtian leave. He really didn't expect that all the gold coins he had robbed would disappear. "Dear customer, if you really can't afford to pay for the meal, you can stay in Xinghua restaurant and wash the dishes for us." The white beast also looked at Sacred Master 6 with disdain. "Sigh, I didn't expect this person to be so shameless. Wait for this person. Wasn't this the person who robbed someone at the East End this morning?" At this moment, someone in the surroundings suddenly exclaimed, "Robber from the East. It's him." At this moment, the surrounding people all reacted. Wasn't this person in front of them the one who robbed the east side of the Star Tremor this morning? He didn't expect this person to dare to come to the Glorious Star restaurant for a meal so openly. Not good. How did I get exposed? Sacred Master 6 did not expect that he would encounter such a thing when he had just begun to display his abilities. Seeing that the situation around him was not right, Holy Master 6 immediately ran towards the entrance of the Glorious Star Restaurant. Damn it, if this place wasn't the territory of the Pavilion of Heavenly Secrets, I would have revealed my true form long ago. Sacred Master 6 cursed as he ran. Starry Town was the secret pavilion's territory, and the Pavilion Master was in the town. Chapter 875. The Barbarian Sect Master wants to apologize after the Barbarian Tribe's Sect Master had trained the few snake girls in front of him for a few days. He looked at them with a satisfied smile and said, "Not bad, not bad. I believe that when you go, you will definitely steal that expert's soul." These snake girls had been carefully trained by him. They were definitely confident in going this time. At this moment, Manly suddenly walked out from the side. "Father, are you really going?" Manly looked at the leader of the Barbarian Sect and asked, "You little brat, if it weren't for you, would I have gone through so much trouble?" Looking at Manly, who had suddenly stood out, the leader of the Barbarian Sect said angrily. After being lectured by the Barbarian Sect leader, Manly stood at the side, feeling wronged. Hence, the sect master of the Barbarian tribe glared at Manly before leaving with his men. "That damned Xiao Changtun Manly will never let him go," Manly said viciously as he watched the sect leader of the Barbarian Sect leave with his men. Manly hated Xiao Changtian very much. His father had gone to avenge him, but when he came back, the result was not what he had imagined. Instead, his father had scolded him fiercely. Manly couldn't understand. Wasn't it just Xiao Changtian? What kind of ability did he have? Even after he came back, his father's attitude towards him had completely changed. Now, he even wanted to use Snake Girl to make Xiao Changtian happy. All of this was simply too absurd. "Son, calm down. I'm afraid your father has something to hide." At this moment, Manly's mother stood up and said, "That Xiao Changtian is just a mortal. What difficulties does my father have? What could be so difficult to say?" When Manly heard his mother's words, he retorted impatiently. "Since father is like this, then don't blame me. When the time comes, I'll go find that Xiao Changtian myself." After Manly finished speaking, he angrily turned around and walked away. On the other side, after a few days of running around, the Barbarian Sect Master and the others finally arrived at Starry Town. "It's this Starry Town. When we find Senior later, be alert." The Sect Master of the Barbarian Sect turned around and said to the people behind him, "Sect Master, we all understand." The few snake girls and the great elder behind him nodded. After a while, they arrived at the Glorious Star Restaurant. "White Beast, why are there so many people outside Glorious Star Restaurant?" Lorraine said in a panic when the Barbarian Sect people arrived at the entrance of the Glorious Star Restaurant. "*MN, it's true. These people aren't here to cause trouble, right?" Seeing so many people from the Barbarian Sect come out at the door, the White Beast was also a little panicked. This was because the White Beast knew that these people were from the notorious Barbarian Sect, and the one leading them was none other than the leader of the Barbarian Sect. "This Barbarian Sect. How dare you come to this place?" At this moment, Lai Jing walked over and said, "What's wrong? Little Jingzi, did the people of the Barbarian Sect offend you?" Hearing Lai Jing's resentful words, the White Beast asked doubtfully. "Exactly. That barbarian elder wanted to snatch my sister away, but fortunately, Senior's Qilin helped me chase them away. The people of the Barbarian Sect deserve to die." Lai Jing didn't hide anything and slowly told him what had happened to him. He hated the Barbarian Sect very much and wished that all the members of the Barbarian Sect would die. "Hey, what are you people doing in front of our Glorious Star Restaurant?" Then, the White Beast stood up and said to the Sect Master of the Barbarian Sect, "We are here to find Changtian, Senior Xiao. I heard that Senior Xiao is at your Glorious Star Restaurant. I wonder if we can meet?" The leader of the Barbarian Sect smiled at the White Beast. At this moment, the few people who were watching by the side were surprised. When did the people of the Barbarian Sect become so polite? This didn't fit the style of the barbarian sect. Although the white beast was also very surprised, it still said with a serious expression, "Senior isn't an idle person. You can't meet him just because you want to. Brother, just do us barbarian sect a favor and let us go see Senior." The leader of the barbarian sect was not angry at the white beast's words. Instead, he smiled and said, "What qualifications do you have to see Senior? With your barbarian sect's conduct, Senior definitely doesn't want to see you." At this moment, Lai Jing walked out and said fiercely to the sect leader of the barbarian sect, "This barbarian sect is getting more and more shameless. Now they actually have ideas on Senior. Isn't this the barbarian sect?" That's right. Isn't the leader of the barbarian sect?" At this moment, many people gathered outside the Glorious Star restaurant. These people looked at the sect master of the barbarian sect and pointed at him. This was because many people knew what kind of person the barbarian sect was. The barbarian sect loved to do things that made people angry. Now, instead of staying in the territory of the barbarian sect, they actually came to their star town. "Brother, look at the people around you. Can you make an exception and let us see Senior?" The sect master of the barbarian sect looked at the people around him and felt a little awkward. He did not expect these people to be so blind. Why did she have to come and point fingers at them at this time? If it wasn't for the fact that they wanted to leave a good impression on their seniors, they would definitely have killed all these townspeople. "Yo, why is it so lively?" At this moment, Xiao Changtian suddenly popped his head out from the second floor of the Glorious Star restaurant. He was also attracted by the noisy scene downstairs, so he stuck his head out curiously. Senior, do you still remember me?" When Xiao Changtian showed his head, the leader of the barbarian sect shouted in surprise. "You are that lunatic." Xiao Changshan's face changed when he saw the leader of the barbarian sect. Why was this lunatic looking for him again? "Senior, what is a lunatic?" "I am the leader of the barbarian sect." "Senior." The leader of the barbarian sect shouted happily at Xiao Changtian. "Senior, I have something to tell you. Is it convenient for you now?" Looking at the leader of the barbarian sect, Xiao Changtian was even more certain that the leader of the barbarian sect was crazy. White Beast quickly let them come up. Xiao Changtian, who was upstairs, said to the White Beast downstairs. He was afraid that if the psychopath below suddenly went crazy and hurt the others around him, it would not be worth it. The White Beast hadn't expected that Senior would actually ask the sect master of the barbarian sect to go up. But in the end, he could only helplessly agree. Chapter 876, I've Delivered the Snake Girl, 1, Ha! Hearing Xiao Changshan's words, the leader of the barbarian sect walked in excitedly. When he walked to the White Beast's side, he even cast a cold glance at it. "Little Jing, this barbarian sect's sect master is too detestable. Just looking at him makes me hate him." Of course, the White Beast also noticed the attitude of the leader of the barbarian sect towards him. Then he looked at Lai Jing and said, "Although I don't know what Senior is thinking, Senior definitely won't let him off so easily." Lai Jing comforted the White Beast. After all, that barbarian sect was annoying. The leader of the barbarian sect slowly led the crowd to the second floor of the Glorious Star restaurant. "Senior, I finally see you again." When the leader of the barbarian sect saw Xiao Changtian, he immediately ran over and said enthusiastically. Xiao Changtian looked at the leader of the barbarian sect with a bitter smile. He really didn't know how to deal with this psychopath. "Senior, I know I offended you last time, so I came here to apologize." The leader of the barbarian sect looked at Xiao Changtian and continued. "Haha, actually, you don't have to be so," Xiao Changtian said with a smile. The greatest apology to him would be to never appear in front of him again. "Sigh, Senior, that won't do. I've been busy for several days to prepare something good for you in order to apologize to you this time." The leader of the barbarian sect smiled at Xiao Changtian and said, "Quick, First Elder, let those few out." Then, the leader of the barbarian sect turned around and said to the barbarian elder. With that said, under the lead of the barbarian elder, the few snake girls outside the door walked in one after another. After a while, Xiao Changtian saw a few women with long legs, white skin, big breasts, and big butts. He could even see some snake scales on their bodies. Just as Xiao Changtian was looking at these snake girls, they smiled at him and said, "Hello, senior." What does that mean? Xiao Changtian looked at the snake girls and said with a dumbfounded expression, "Could it be that the sect master of the barbarian sect was giving him these women as compensation?" "Senior, you didn't see wrongly. The few people in front of you are the rare snake women in the Jade Lake's sacred world. These snake girls were different from ordinary women. I can guarantee that these lamia will definitely make you comfortable." The leader of the barbarian sect said with a smile as he looked at the lamia and Xiao Changtian. Xiao Changtian finally understood what the leader of the barbarian sect was thinking. However, even if these snake girls were rare in the Jade Lake's sacred world, he was not interested. The leader of the barbarian sect also noticed that Xiao Changtian was not interested in these snake girls, so his expression changed. This was a rare snake girl in the Jade Lake's sacred world. How could Senior not be interested in them? Or could it be that even these senior lamia had played before? Then, didn't he not make Senior happy by coming to apologize to him? Xiao Changtian noticed the change in the leader's expression. Immediately, he cursed in his heart. Could it be that this psychopath was angry because he said that he didn't like the snake girls in front of him? If he was really angry, it wouldn't be good if he went crazy later. I really like these snake girls from the barbarian sect's sect master. Let them stay. After weighing the pros and cons, Xiao Changtian smiled at the leader of the barbarian sect. The leader of the barbarian sect heaved a sigh of relief when he saw Xiao Changtian finally get rid of the snake girls. As long as they accepted these snake girls, Senior would definitely forgive them. However, it seemed that no one could resist the charm of these snake girls. At first, he thought that Senior didn't like them. He didn't expect Senior to be pretending in front of him. "Senior, please don't pursue the matter from last time." Then, the leader of the barbarian sect asked Xiao Changtian carefully. "Don't worry, sect leader of the barbarian sect. I don't care about what happened last time." Xiao Changtian knew that the sect master of the barbarian sect was afraid that he would go and find them. However, with his strength, how could he be so stupid to find trouble with a sect? Then the few of you, hurry up and serve Senior." After hearing Xiao Changshan's words, the leader of the barbarian sect immediately turned around and said happily to the snake girls behind him, "No, there's no need. Thank you, sect master of the barbarian sect. I have my own arrangements for them." Xiao Changtian smiled awkwardly at the leader of the barbarian sect. He was not interested in these women at all. The leader of the barbarian sect was really making him feel uncomfortable. "Oh, Senior, I understand. You just want to take advantage of the time when no one is around." The leader of the barbarian sect smiled at Xiao Changtian. Xiao Changtian knew what the leader of the barbarian sect meant, but he shook his head helplessly. What is that damned barbarian sect master talking to Senior inside? He hasn't come out for such a long time. At this moment, the white beast and Lai Jing, who were downstairs, were looking upstairs anxiously. But you don't have to worry so much. No matter what that barbarian sect's sect master does, he can't possibly hurt Senior. Lorraine said as she walked to the two of them. The sect master of the barbarian sect can't hurt Senior, but I'm afraid that the sect master of the barbarian sect will play some dirty tricks again. Lai Jing said angrily. This barbarian sect's sect master looked like a decent person, but he was actually evil to the bone. If he dared to come up with any bad ideas, he would not let him know how powerful he was later. "Senior, since I've already sent this lamia over, well, go back first." The leader of the barbarian sect smiled at Zhang Tian and said, "The mission this time could be considered to have been successfully completed. As long as it was Man Li, he would never cause trouble again. Then this Senior would definitely not take revenge on their barbarian sect again. Since you want to leave, I won't send you off." Xiao Changtian couldn't wait for this lunatic to leave. Seeing that the leader of the barbarian sect was finally leaving, he heaved a sigh of relief. Finally, under the watchful eyes of the people downstairs, the leader of the barbarian sect walked out with the barbarian elder in a triumphant manner. What happened? Why didn't Senior look for him and let them go just like that? Lai Jing said angrily as he looked at the proud expressions of the barbarian sect master and elder. Little Jingzi, calm down. Senior might have his own plans. Although the white beast was also very surprised, it did not react too violently. Chapter 877. Snake Girl has sent it over, 1. At this moment, Xiao Changtian was looking at the few snake girls in front of him. He frowned and thought about what to do with them. Senior, do you need our service? Senior, you don't have to be so polite. Senior, we're here. After the barbarian sect master left, the snake girls all smiled and walked towards Zhang Tian. No, there's really no need. You don't have to come over. Xiao Changtian waved his hand and said as he saw the snake girls walking towards him. Aya, Senior, you don't have to be so polite. The barbarian sect master has taught us many things. One of the snake girls stepped forward and touched Xiao Changshan's chest. That's right, that's right. The barbarian sect master has taught us many things. Don't worry. Another snake girl stepped forward, smiled at Xiao Changtian, and placed her hand on his leg. Senior. At this moment, Lai Jing suddenly stood at the door. He looked at the scene inside and stood there with his mouth agape. Senior, the door isn't locked. Lai Jing stammered as he snapped out of his daze. He then closed the door behind him. He had originally wanted to ask Senior why he had let the sect master of the barbarian sect go. Who knew that she would see such an erotic scene as soon as she went upstairs? Sigh. Listen to my explanation. It's really not what it looks like. Xiao Changtian didn't expect that he would be seen by others before he could react. Don't touch me. Stand still. Xiao Changtian said to the snake girls. Little Jingzi, so fast. Why did you come down so quickly? Did you find out anything? The white beast asked curiously as it watched Lai Jing come down from upstairs. Do not look at evil, do not look at evil. Lai Jing muttered as he looked at the white beast. Hearing Lai Jing's words, the white beast was confused. What do you mean by don't look inconvenient? Little Jingzi, what are you talking about? However, at this moment, Xiao Changtian walked out of the room. He stood in the corridor on the second floor and said, White beast, Lorraine, come up quickly. I have a task for you too. All right. After the white beast and Lorraine looked at Lai Jing, they went up to the second floor. That barbarian sect actually sent over so many snake girls. I can't deal with these snake girls now, so why don't we just leave them in Gloria Star Restaurant? Xiao Changtian looked at the two of them and said indifferently, What is it? Snake girl? Senior, is this snake girl going to stay in Gloria Star Restaurant? The white beast and Lorraine were shocked when they heard Xiao Changshan's words. The two of them knew that Snake Girl was a rare item in the Jade Lake's sacred world. He didn't expect the barbarian sect to be so generous as to send such a rare thing over. No wonder Senior let them go. Yes, I already have an idea. Let them perform at Xinghua Restaurant. They can dance on the stage during dinner. Xiao Changtian nodded and said, With the help of these snake girls, Gloria's Star Restaurant's business would probably be even more prosperous. He was really a genius. This idea was really too brilliant. Senior, are you sure you want these snake girls to perform in the Gloria Star Restaurant? After all, such a rare species was enough to shock many people. But now, there were so many of them at once. Senior didn't keep them for himself, but actually wanted them to perform in Xinghua Restaurant. I'm really sure. I've already considered this matter. Just do as I say. Xiao Changtian waved his hand nonchalantly. He wasn't interested in these snake girls anyway. He might as well let these snake girls help him earn some money. On the other side, in the Pavilion of Heavenly Secrets. Pavilion Master, urgent report. A member of the secret pavilion quickly ran to the Pavilion Master's room and said, The Pavilion Master of the secret pavilion looked at the secret report in that person's hand and his expression became serious. You can go down first. The Pavilion Master of the Pavilion of Heavenly Secrets said to him after receiving the secret report from the person. Pavilion Master, is there a new situation in the Jade Nether Kingdom? The Great Elder of the Secret Pavilion said as he looked at the letter in the Pavilion Master's hand. It is indeed from the Jade Nether Kingdom. Then, the Pavilion Master quickly opened the letter. Damn it, this demon is simply too detestable. After reading the letter in her hand, she said angrily, "Pavilion Master, what's wrong? What's going on?" The great elder of the prophecy pavilion immediately went forward and asked when he saw the pavilion master's reaction. This damned demon actually allied with the Jade Nether Kingdom's imperial family. Many sects in the Jade Nether Kingdom had been invaded by the demons. The pavilion master of the Pavilion of Heavenly Secrets said, "This demon is actually so cunning now. He actually allied with the Jade Nether Kingdom's imperial family." The great elder's expression darkened when he heard the pavilion master's words. "By the way, pavilion master, how did you find out that the Jade Nether Kingdom's imperial family is colluding with the demons?" Then, the great elder looked at the pavilion master of the Pavilion of Heavenly Secrets and asked, "Although there's no concrete evidence, the Jade Nether Kingdom's king has already come to a conclusion after a few days of observation. Moreover, it was not strange for the demons to do such a thing." The pavilion master of the Pavilion of Heavenly Secrets looked into the distance and said slowly, "Pavilion master, when are we going to help the Jade Nether Kingdom? After all, the longer this matter dragged on, the more people the demons would hurt. There's no time to lose." Since the Jade Nether Kingdom has sent out such a letter, it means that the Jade Nether Kingdom's ruler is no longer able to deal with such a situation on his own. He could tell from the contents of the pavilion master's letter. At this moment, the Jade Nether Kingdom's king was panicking towards the demons. In that case, I'll go find Senior immediately. After saying this to the pavilion master of the secret pavilion, the great elder walked out. Not long after, the great elder of the Pavilion of Heavenly Secrets arrived at Xiao Changshan's Glorious Star Restaurant. "Senior, Senior, 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 Senior." Just as the great elder of the secret pavilion walked into the Glorious Star Restaurant, he saw a few snake girls inside. Then he stood rooted to the ground in shock. "Aya, great elder, you're here?" Xiao Changtian, who was standing inside, said with a smile as he watched the great elder walk to the door. "Great elder, why are you standing at the door? Come in quickly." "Senior, Senior, these are snake girls?" Looking at the few snake girls in the room, the great elder of the prophecy pavilion slowly asked, "This lamia is a rare species. How did Senior get so many of them at once?" "That's right. These are the snake girls. If we let this snake girl perform in the Glorious Star Restaurant, it will definitely increase the customer flow in the restaurant." Xiao Changtian looked at the snake girls and said with satisfaction. Chapter 879. Someone from the Pavilion of Heavenly Secrets has arrived, reporting, "Ruler, the pavilion master of the Pavilion of Heavenly Secrets has sent news." At this moment, another cultivator came over and said loudly, "Speak." The prophecy pavilion sent the prophecy pavilion's grand elder and an unknown person. However, the people from the secret pavilion seemed to have said that that person was their senior. The cultivator quickly replied, "Just two people?" Prime Minister Liu said with a frown. "Prime Minister Liu, don't tell me you don't know the strength of the great elder of the Pavilion of Heavenly Secrets?" The Jade Nether Kingdom's king looked at Prime Minister Liu and said, "Ruler, but there are quite a number of demons who have come for this disaster. Even if the great elder of the Pavilion of Heavenly Secrets was powerful, how could he deal with so many demons?" Prime Minister Liu said worriedly. The devil race's infiltration into their Jade Nether Kingdom was already very serious. If they did not stop it quickly, the Jade Nether Kingdom would probably change hands. "Prime Minister Liu, as long as we capture the person who colluded with the demons in the imperial family, this situation should be resolved very quickly. Therefore, I feel that even if he sends two people, it shouldn't be a problem." The Jade Nether Kingdom's king looked at Prime Minister Liu and said slowly, "It was not that the Jade Nether Kingdom's king was not worried about the situation in the Jade Nether Kingdom, but he trusted the Prophecy Pavilion. With the Prophecy Pavilion's help, they should be able to successfully overcome this crisis. Ruler, since you have put it this way, then I have no other choice." Prime Minister Liu sighed as he looked at the Jade Underworld King. In Prime Minister Liu's eyes, the Pavilion of Heavenly Secrets had to send an army to resolve this problem. "All right, ruler, I want to know what the strength of the senior who came with the great elder of the Prophecy Pavilion is like?" Prime Minister Liu then asked the Jade Nether King. "I don't know about this either." "You heard it too. The Pavilion Master of the Secret Pavilion didn't give me an accurate answer. However, even the Pavilion Master of the Pavilion of Heavenly Secrets said that he was his senior. His strength must be extraordinary. I don't think you need to worry about that." The Jade Nether Kingdom's king looked at Prime Minister Liu and consoled him. This Prime Minister Liu was his right-hand man, and he was very concerned about the Jade Nether Kingdom's matters. Ever since the demon invasion, it had been Prime Minister Liu who had helped him run around. Therefore, the Jade Nether Kingdom's king was extremely grateful to Prime Minister Liu. "If that's the case, I'll wait here for the people from the secret pavilion." At this moment, the people in the city were in a panic and did not dare to go out. There were very few people outside. Prime Minister Liu nodded. Meanwhile, on the other side of the Jade Nether Kingdom, "Prime Minister Sun, you can't do it now." The current country ruler would go to Prime Minister Liu if he had any problems. "You only have your position but no power." A skinny man who was standing in front of a middle-aged man said, "Ha, skinny monkey, what's the hurry? This is only the first step of my plan." The middle-aged man called Prime Minister Sun said with a smile, "But Prime Minister Sun, I heard that the ruler has asked the people of the Pavilion of Heavenly Secrets to help. You have to be careful." Shouho looked at Premier Sun and said with a smile, "Someone from the Heaven Secrets Pavilion? Haha, that person is nothing. It's not like you don't know that there are so many demon race people behind me. Even if the entire Heaven Secret Pavilion came, they wouldn't be a match for them." After hearing this news, Prime Minister Sun waved his hand indifferently. In his heart, the Pavilion of Heavenly Secrets was no match for the demons at all. How many people did the Pavilion of Heavenly Secrets send this time? But then, Premier Sun looked at Skinny Monkey and asked, The Prime Minister Sun, how much do you think?" Skinny Monkey smiled at Premier Sun after hearing his words. "Don't try to sell a lawsuit in front of me. Tell me quickly, did they really send someone from the pavilion?" Prime Minister Sun glared at Skinny Monkey and said, Prime Minister Sun, you guessed wrong. This time, the Pavilion of Heavenly Secrets only sent 2 people. Shouho looked at Premier Sun with a smile. What a joke. The secret pavilion is so big, but they actually sent 2 people this time. The 2 of them had even helped the Jade Nether Kingdom through the crisis. After they came, it was hard to say whether they could protect the Jade Nether Kingdom. Premier Sun laughed out loud after hearing Shouho's words. The reason why Prime Minister Sun had allied with the demon race was because the demon race wanted to find the Jade Nether Kingdom's treasure. If Prime Minister Sun could help the demon race find the treasure, the demon race would agree to help Prime Minister Sun sit on the throne of the Jade Nether Kingdom. Prime Minister Sun was immediately moved by the proposal of the demons. Thus, he chose to cooperate with the demons without hesitation. But Prime Minister Sun did not know where the Jade Nether Kingdom's treasure was. However, Prime Minister Sun had heard that some sect in the Jade Nether Kingdom knew where the treasure was hidden. However, he did not know which sect it was. Therefore, Prime Minister Sun cooperated with the demons to capture some people from various sects to threaten them to tell them the location of the treasure. However, even though they had captured many people, they had not been able to ask about the whereabouts of the Jade Nether Kingdom's treasure. However, Prime Minister Sun was not in a hurry because the demons had given him a long time and a lot of manpower. Therefore, Prime Minister Sun was not afraid that the people from the Pavilion of Heavenly Secrets would come. Reporting an invitation from the country ruler. At this moment, a servant from Prime Minister Sun's residence rushed in. Invitation letter? Prime Minister Sun said in surprise. The people from the Pavilion of Heavenly Secrets have come to help. Tonight, a welcoming ceremony will be held in the Imperial Palace. I hope Prime Minister Sun can arrive. Looking at the invitation letter, Premier Sun muttered, Speak of the devil. The people from the Heaven Secrets Pavilion actually arrived so quickly. However, he did not know what the country ruler was thinking. Was it worth it to prepare for just those two? It was simply a waste of time. Premier's son looked at Skinny Monkey and laughed. However, this is also a good time for us to see just how strong the two people sent by the secret pavilion are. Skinny Monkey, tonight, you will come with me. We will go together. After hearing Premier's son's words, Skinny Monkey immediately nodded. After all, they were going to laugh at the Heaven's secret pavilion and the Jade Nether Kingdom's king. At this moment, in the main hall of the Jade Nether Kingdom, Great Elder of the Pavilion of Heavenly Secrets, you're finally here. Seeing the Grand Elder of the Prophecy Pavilion walking over, the Jade Nether Kingdom's king immediately went forward to welcome him. Country ruler, you're too polite. The Pavilion Master sent us here this time because you must have encountered some difficult problem that you can't solve. The Grand Elder of the Prophecy Pavilion asked the Jade Nether Kingdom's king politely. It's a long story. The Jade Nether Kingdom's king sighed at the Great Elder of the Prophecy Pavilion. Chapter 880. The Servant of the Elder of the Pavilion of Heavenly Secrets, 1. However, just as the Jade Nether Kingdom's king was conversing with the Great Elder of the Prophecy Pavilion, Prime Minister Lu was staring at Xiao Changtian with a mocking look in his eyes. Ruler, I have something to tell you. Before the king of the Jade Nether Kingdom could finish speaking with the Grand Elder of the Prophecy Pavilion, Prime Minister Lu shouted at the king. In that case, you two go first. The Great Elder of the Prophecy Pavilion tactfully shut his mouth. Then, Prime Minister Lu pulled the Jade Nether Kingdom's king far away without a word. Ruler, are you sure that the Pavilion of Heavenly Secrets sent these two people? Prime Minister Lu, who was standing in the corner, asked the Jade Underworld King with a serious expression. Indeed. Others don't know, but don't you know? That was the Great Elder of the Prophecy Pavilion. The Jade Nether Kingdom's king looked at Prime Minister Lu curiously. What was this Prime Minister Lu thinking? But ruler, didn't you say that the Prophecy Pavilion sent a Great Elder and a Senior? However, the person who followed the first elder was clearly a mortal. Looking at the Jade Nether Kingdom's lord, Prime Minister Liu's expression turned ugly. Because he felt that their country's ruler seemed to have been played by the people of the Pavilion of Heavenly Secrets. Although the elder's strength seemed very powerful, the person beside him could not feel a trace of spiritual power from him no matter how Prime Minister Lu tried. How could this be? When the Jade Nether Kingdom's king heard Prime Minister Liu's words, he frowned. At first, he had been focused on the Great Elder of the Prophecy Pavilion and had not paid much attention to the senior beside him. He thought that since he was a senior, he must be an expert. But what was Prime Minister Lu talking about? Ruler, if you don't believe me, you can take a look for yourself. That person is just a mortal. He doesn't have any spiritual power at all. Prime Minister Lu looked at Xiao Changtian in the distance and said seriously. Xiao Changtian, who was standing in his original spot, saw Prime Minister Lu and the Jade Nether Kingdom's king turning around to look at him from afar. Xiao Changtian even smiled at the two of them. It's true. That person is really just a mortal. After hearing Prime Minister Liu's words, although the Jade Nether Kingdom's king did not believe it, he still released his spiritual power to check. One wouldn't know if they didn't look, but when they saw it, they were shocked. The person beside the Great Elder of the Prophecy Pavilion was clearly a mortal. How could this be? That was impossible. The Pavilion Master of the Secret Pavilion had personally said that that person was their senior. How could their senior be a mortal? At this moment, the Jade Nether Kingdom's king muttered in confusion. This was completely different from what he had imagined. What was the use of sending such a mortal? Ruler, could it be that the Pavilion of Heavenly Secrets is trying to trick us? I've already sent out the invitations you wanted to send. If the other officials saw that there was only such a powerful expert at night, I'm afraid the situation is not easy to control. Prime Minister Lu was doing this for the greater good of the Jade Nether Kingdom. The Jade Nether Kingdom was already in a state of panic because of the demon race, and now, the Prophecy Pavilion had actually used such a move on them. Was the heavens trying to destroy their Jade Nether Kingdom? Prime Minister Lu, do you think it's possible that the senior from the Heaven Secrets Pavilion didn't come with the Great Elder of the Heaven Secrets Pavilion? The person behind Elder Tienga might be his servant. Right at this moment, the Jade Nether Kingdom's king thought of a reasonable explanation. After all, how could a place as big as the Pavilion of Heavenly Secrets do such a thing? One had to know that it was better to trust the secret pavilion than anyone else. After all, the Pavilion of Heavenly Secrets was the most trustworthy organization in the entire Jade Lake's sacred world. The Jade Nether Kingdom's king looked at Prime Minister Lu and said, "Ruler, there's only one possibility now. That person is the servant of the great elder of the Pavilion of Heavenly Secrets." He didn't know when that senior would come. After getting a reasonable explanation, Prime Minister Lu was relieved. That's right, he must have been thinking too much. Why would the secret pavilion send such a person? The Jade Nether Kingdom did not say anything else and stepped forward. "Great Elder, sorry to keep you waiting. We had a small situation just now. I hope you don't mind." The Jade Nether Kingdom's king said apologetically as he walked up to the Grand Elder of the Heavenly Pavilion. "It's fine. After all, our purpose for coming here this time is to help your Jade Nether Kingdom." The Great Elder of the Secret Pavilion smiled and said, "Great Elder, this is a long story. Moreover, the journey from Stellar Town to our Jade Underworld Kingdom is very long. You must be very tired after such a long journey. Why don't I tell you about it at the reception tonight?" The Jade Nether Kingdom's king asked the Prophecy Pavilion's Grand Elder. "We can do whatever we want. Well, listen to your arrangements." The Grand Elder of the Prophecy Pavilion did not care about this. In any case, they would not leave so easily unless they helped the Jade Nether Kingdom find the Devil Race. Following that, the Grand Elder of the Pavilion of Heavenly Secrets and Xiao Changtian followed the servants into the room that the Jade Nether Kingdom's king had prepared beforehand. "Senior, I'll have to trouble you with this matter," the Great Elder of the Pavilion of Heavenly Secrets said to Xiao Changtian after they entered the room. "No trouble, no trouble. After all, I promised you." Xiao Changtian didn't find this matter troublesome. After all, as long as he helped the secret pavilion deal with the demons, the secret pavilion would give him the information of the spirit tree seed for free. In the end, this could be considered an equivalent exchange. However, when I came here, I could feel that the Jade Nether Kingdom was indeed being persecuted by the demons. There were not many people on the streets. Xiao Changtian knew that the devil race was not simple. Therefore, it would take him a lot of effort to deal with them. Moreover, his cultivation base was considered trash in the Jade Lake's sacred world. At this moment, Xiao Changtian suddenly remembered that he could use the spiritual crystal points to upgrade his cultivation in the system. He could take advantage of this period of time to improve his cultivation a little. Then he wouldn't lose so badly. After he finished talking to the Great Elder, Xiao Changtian went into the room and locked the door. "System, didn't you say that you could exchange 10 crystals for 1 cultivation point?" Xiao Changtian closed the door and asked the system. "Yes, host. As long as you want to increase your cultivation, you can exchange for spiritual crystal points. However, the system warmly reminds you that a little cultivation is not very useful." The system seemed to be smiling at Xiao Changtian. "In that case, I have 32,600 crystals left. If 1 point of cultivation was not enough, he could exchange the remaining 600 crystals for cultivation." Xiao Changtian gritted his teeth and said, Chapter 881, Is that senior here? 1. Are you sure you want to exchange 600 crystals for cultivation? After hearing little Changshan's words, the system seemed to be uncertain. "Of course I'm sure," Xiao Changtian said to the system. Ding! The host has completed the exchange of 600 crystals for 60 cultivation points. The system's voice sounded again very quickly. With this 60 points of cultivation, although it's still very weak, but it's much stronger than before. Xiao Changtian could also feel the changes in his body after obtaining the 60 points of cultivation, but he couldn't tell exactly where it was. However, he knew that becoming stronger was the right thing to do. Not long after, the sky gradually darkened. "Do, Senior, the people from the Jade Nether Kingdom said that we should attend the welcoming banquet." At this moment, the Great Elder of the Pavilion of Heavenly Secrets knocked on Xiao Changshan's door. Not long after, The great elder of the pavilion of heavenly secrets and Xiao Changtian arrived at the welcoming banquet. Great elder, you're here? We've been waiting here for a long time. The Jade Nether Kingdom's king smiled as he led the prophecy pavilion's great elder to the seat beside him. Ruler, if I sit here, then the great elder of the prophecy pavilion looked at the Jade Nether Kingdom's king and then at Xiao Chang'an. Oh, please sit beside me. The Jade Nether Kingdom's king had not expected the great elder to be so friendly to others. Even his own servant had to find a seat for him. Xiao Changtian did not have any objections to the arrangements made by the Jade Nether Kingdom's king. After all, he could sit anywhere he wanted. Ruler, I heard that our Jade Nether Kingdom has an expert from the Heaven Secret Pavilion. Quickly let me see where the hero is. At this moment, Premier's son walked straight towards the Jade Nether Kingdom's king from the entrance of the banquet and asked, Prime Minister's son, you look much better these days. The person beside me is the great elder of the Heaven Secret Pavilion. The Jade Nether Kingdom's king smiled as he looked at Prime Minister Sunday. Even until today, the Jade Nether Kingdom's king did not know that Prime Minister's son had actually colluded with the demon race. They were harming the people of the Jade Nether Kingdom. Oh, great elder of the prophecy pavilion, it's an honor to meet you. I didn't expect you to really come. Looks like you'll have to bear with our Jade Nether Kingdom this time. The reason why Prime Minister's son had not been discovered by the Jade Nether Kingdom's king to be colluding with the demons was because Prime Minister's son usually disguised himself very well, making it impossible for others to detect him. Prime Minister, you're too polite. Since it's the ruler who invited us, we will definitely do our best. Chapter 882. Stabilize the situation first. 1. One had to know that the pavilion master of the Pavilion of Heavenly Secrets was already a saint king. If it was that senior, he would probably already be a sage sect. With the strength of the sage sect, they should be able to find the spy of the demon race no matter what. Prime Minister Liu, if that person isn't the great elder's servant, then he must be their senior. The Jade Nether King said helplessly to Prime Minister Liu. What is it? How could this be? That person was really their senior. Prime Minister Liu felt that he had been greatly deceived at this moment. He looked at the great elder of the prophecy pavilion with anger. These people actually dared to play with them like this. It was simply extremely shameful. Prime Minister Liu, there's nothing we can do now. All the officials are here, so it doesn't mean that any of them is a spy. If the spy finds out that the Pavilion of Heavenly Secrets has sent a saint ruler and a mortal, the situation will become even more difficult to deal with. Although the Jade Nether Kingdom's king was extremely angry, he looked at Prime Minister Liu and said helplessly. As they still did not know who the spy was, they could not blindly cause a conflict with the secret pavilion. In that case, let's wait until the banquet is over. Prime Minister Liu also knew that if the civil and military officials knew about this, it would probably cause panic again. It was better not to say anything about the matter for the time being. Everyone, this time, our Jade Nether Kingdom has invited people from the Prophecy Pavilion. With their help, our Jade Nether Kingdom will definitely change. In order to stabilize the overall situation, the Jade Nether Kingdom's king spoke to everyone present at the banquet. That's great. I have the help of the secret pavilion. That's right. With the help of the Prophecy Pavilion, our Jade Nether Kingdom will definitely be able to overcome this crisis. The spy who colluded with the demon race will be found by the people of Tianji Pavilion. After hearing the Jade Nether King's words, everyone below discussed excitedly. The secret pavilion had always been synonymous with eradicating the demon race. This was because the secret pavilion had defeated the demon race once 100 years ago. Since then, whenever the demon race was mentioned, people would immediately think of asking the secret pavilion for help. These people still don't know that they're being kept in the dark even when they're about to die. Premier's son stood in the distance and shook his head with a smile when he saw how excited these people were. Prime Minister, your move is still the best. If you become the ruler, don't forget me, Skinny Monkey. Skinny Monkey looked at the scene and complimented. However, Saint Lord Six had heard that the great elder of the Prophecy Pavilion and Xiao Changtan were also here. Thus, he accepted the mission without hesitation and came to the Jade Nether Kingdom. Sir, please don't. I have been doing my best to complete this matter. Although there has been no progress for the time being, I believe that as long as I capture enough people, someone will know the whereabouts of the treasure. Prime Minister's son said anxiously after hearing Holy Master Sax's words. Then whether this matter can be accomplished will depend on your performance in the next half a month. Holy Master 6 glanced at Prime Minister's son and said slowly. Not only was he going to help Sacred Lord Demonic Flame find the treasure in the Jade Nether Kingdom, but he was also going to teach Xiao Chang Tian a lesson. I heard that the people from the Heaven Secrets Pavilion are here as well. Where are they now? Then, Holy Master 6 asked Prime Minister's son about Xiao Changshan's whereabouts. They're probably at the official's house of the person they captured. However, my lord, please don't worry. I've probed yesterday. Other than the great elder of the Pavilion of Heavenly Secrets who has the strength of a saint ruler, the other person is only a mortal. And it was just a saint king. He believed that so many demons would definitely be able to defeat him. Prime Minister's son immediately said excitedly when he heard Holy Master Sax's words. Alright, I didn't ask you that much. I just asked where they are now. Saint Master 6 waved his hand indifferently. Other than finding what the demon flames Saint Lord wanted, his other goal was to make Xiao Chang Tian suffer a beating. After all, Saint Lord 6 had never been so humiliated before. He had been humiliated twice in Xiao Changshan's glorious star restaurant. No matter what, he had to make Xiao Chang Tian pay a price. Your Excellency, you can rest assured. That great elder of the Pavilion of Heavenly Secrets and that mortal are staying in the palace arranged by the king at night. They are probably investigating this matter during the day. The two of them can't run anywhere. Prime Minister's son looked at the lackey of the Holy Lord and said, After all, it was said that the demon race person sent here had a high status in the demon race. If she could build a good relationship with him, she would not have to worry about anything in the future. However, after hearing Holy Master Six's question, Prime Minister's son had some confidence in his heart. It seemed that this lord in front of him was going to deal with the people of the Heaven Secrets Pavilion as soon as he arrived. As long as this lord dealt with the people from the Secret Pavilion, their future progress would be even smoother. Alright, I know what to do about this. At the same time, you have to speed up the progress on your hands. Remember, you only have half a month left. Holy Master 6 said to Prime Minister's son and disappeared. On the other side, Xiao Chang Tian did not find any valuable clues after the official's inspection. Thus, the group of them left the official's house. I reckon that this demon race person is going to take action tonight. However, I don't know where we'll go next. Prime Minister Lu said to the great elder of the Pavilion of Heavenly Secrets after leaving the official's house. But in my opinion, the demons are looking for something, right? Why don't we beat him at his own game? At this moment, Xiao Chang Tian suddenly said in a deep voice, Senior, I don't know what plan you have, but why don't you tell me? Hearing Xiao Changshan's words, the great elder of the Pavilion of Heavenly Secrets quickly asked, Since there are officials colluding with the demon race, then let the ruler spread the word that he has already handed that thing over to us. When the official heard the news, he would definitely not be able to sit still. At that time, he would definitely send people from the demon race to look for him. As long as we set up an inescapable net in the room, that demon race person will definitely not be able to escape. Xiao Chang Tian slowly explained his plan. Perhaps this was the only way to resolve this matter. Moreover, the Grand Elder of the Pavilion of Heavenly Secrets was a saint ruler. He would ask the Grand Elder of the Pavilion of Heavenly Secrets to capture the demon and interrogate him. Senior, I think this method will work. After hearing Senior's words, the Great Elder of the Prophecy Pavilion nodded in agreement. Because of Xiao Changshan's idea, Prime Minister Liu's impression of him changed slightly. It turned out that this guy's brain was so good. No wonder he was called Senior. Chapter 884, Jade Green Saint Stone, 1. Although Prime Minister Liu's impression of Xiao Chang Tian had changed a little, he still looked down on him. It was because it was useless for a mortal without any strength to have a smart brain. Let's discuss this matter with the country ruler and listen to his opinion. Prime Minister Lu said slowly after the two of them had finished speaking. Following that, the few of them set off to look for the Jade Nether Kingdom's king. This method is really good. In that case, well, do as you say. After hearing Xiao Changshan's suggestion, the king of the Jade Nether Kingdom nodded in agreement. However, Jade Nether King, I would like to ask, what kind of treasure does the Jade Nether Kingdom have that is worthy of the demons making such a big fuss? Xiao Changtian looked at the king of the Jade Nether Kingdom and asked in confusion. Prime Minister Lu didn't expect Xiao Changtian to ask such a question. He actually casually inquired about the treasures of other countries. His opinion of Xiao Changtian changed again. Since things have come to this, I won't hide it anymore. I can actually sense that the demon is looking for the Jade Azure Saint Rock. The Jade Nether Kingdom's king looked at the few people present and paused for a moment before saying, "This Jade Green Saint Rock is nothing else but a treasure left behind by old ancestor Yao Ming. It was said that as long as one absorbed this Jade Green Saint Rock, one's cultivation would at least jump 3 levels. The Jade Nether Kingdom's king looked at the few of them and said slowly, "Other than this, the Jade Green Saint Rock has another important function. It is to protect the Jade Nether Kingdom and bring good fortune to the entire Jade Nether Kingdom. Also, it was something left behind by the ancestor, so it had been preserved by the Jade Nether Kingdom's ruler for generations." The Jade Nether Kingdom's king had already known about it a long time ago. If this Jade Green Saint Stone was known by anyone other than the Jade Nether Kingdom, it would definitely attract countless disasters. Therefore, the Jade Nether Kingdom had never made this treasure public. He did not expect that the demons would actually know about it. This indeed put the Jade Nether Kingdom's king in a dilemma. After all, the Jade Azure Saint Rock had protected the Jade Nether Kingdom for so many years. No matter what, the Jade Nether Kingdom's king did not wish for it to be stolen by the demons. I see. The demons seemed to be trying to revive their demon lord, so they were plundering things that were beneficial to their lord's recovery. It seemed like the demon race was looking for the Jade Green Saint Rock. The great elder of the Prophecy Pavilion nodded after hearing this. After returning home, Prime Minister's son quickly gathered his men. "Yo, there's a situation." At this moment, Sacred Master 6 suddenly appeared. "My lord, I have good news for you. The thing you're looking for is on the great elder of the Prophecy Pavilion. So I'm going to make my move tonight." Prime Minister's son looked at Holy Master 6 excitedly. "It's with the Grand Elder of the Prophecy Pavilion?" When Sacred Master 6 heard this, he frowned and then smiled. "If that's the case, then tonight, you can go find the Great Elder of the Heaven Secret Pavilion and get that treasure. They'll go meet that Xiao Changtian." Although Saint Lord 6 didn't know Xiao Changshan's strength, he was sure that Xiao Changtian wasn't that strong. As long as Prime Minister's son could help him stall the Great Elder of the Pavilion of Heavenly Secrets, he would be able to deal with Xiao Changtian. At night, Xiao Changtian and Prime Minister Lu were squatting in the courtyard outside the room. The two of them wanted to wait here and see if that demon would appear. "It's already so late, why isn't that demon here yet?" After squatting for a while, Prime Minister Lu said impatiently, "Is this method that you guys are talking about going to work?" After Prime Minister Lu went back and thought about it, he felt more and more uneasy. Would Xiao Changshan's idea work? As long as they can't wait, they will definitely come. Xiao Changtian didn't care whether Prime Minister Lu doubted him or not. He only explained. Chapter 886, Retreat Quickly, 1. No, what's going on? Saint Lord 6 was not the only one who was screaming in pain. Prime Minister Lu asked in confusion. At this moment, everything in front of him seemed to be a dream. "Prime Minister, come in quickly. Don't disturb Senior." Just as Prime Minister Lu was in a daze, the Great Elder of the Pavilion of Heavenly Secrets walked out and pulled Prime Minister Lu in. "If it's not the Great Elder, what's the situation outside?" After being pulled into the room, Prime Minister Lu asked the Great Elder of the Pavilion of Heavenly Secrets in disbelief. "What's going on? Weren't you watching with your own eyes? Senior is teaching that demon a lesson. If you are discovered there, it won't be good." The first elder of the Prophecy Pavilion casually said. It was as if Xiao Changtian was able to deal with the demons. No, First Elder, that senior you mentioned, didn't he have no cultivation at all? Prime Minister Liu was still in a daze. This was simply impossible. No, Prime Minister Liu, don't tell me you still think Senior is just a mortal? At this moment, the great elder of the secret pavilion finally reacted. It turned out that this Prime Minister Liu had always treated Senior as a mortal. No wonder he felt that Prime Minister Liu was so strange to Senior. Is the great elder really not? But even if I used all my energy, I still couldn't find any difference between him and a mortal. After the great elder of the Pavilion of Heavenly Secrets said this, Prime Minister Liu finally came to his senses. It turned out that he was shallow. No wonder Xiao Changtian was called Senior by the people of the Pavilion of Heavenly Secrets. That Senior must be very powerful because Prime Minister Liu didn't feel any power from Xiao Changtian, but he could beat that terrifying demon so badly. From this, it could be seen that Senior was not an ordinary person. He was already an expert who had cultivated his cultivation to the acme of perfection. He was actually so short-sighted in the beginning. They thought that Xiao Changtian was just a mortal. Prime Minister Liu, sometimes what you see in front of you is not necessarily true. Also, we can't guess what Senior is thinking. So I think you know what to do. The great elder of the Prophecy Pavilion looked at Prime Minister Liu and said slowly. Prime Minister Liu nodded seriously at the great elder's words. After all, if he did not have eyes to provoke such an expert, then he would really be too blind. At this moment, Saint Lord 6 was screaming at Xiao Changtian. I beg you, stop fighting. Stop fighting. Finally, Saint Master 6 couldn't help but beg Xiao Changtian. Hee, aren't you quite powerful? Didn't you want to kill me? How can you only have this much ability now? Xiao Changtian said rudely to Saint Lord 6. Since that demon had threatened to kill him, he would definitely not stay behind. Therefore, Xiao Changtian would not be soft-hearted towards Saint Lord 6. Expert, please let me go. I didn't recognize Mount Tai. I shouldn't have said such words. Saint Lord 6 was about to explode from his spiritual power. If Xiao Changtian didn't stop, he would definitely be killed by Xiao Changtian with his bare hands. It's not impossible for me to let you go. However, you have to tell me who exactly is colluding with you from the Jade Nether Kingdom. Xiao Changtian looked at Saint Lord 6 and finally stopped. He didn't forget about the important matter. It's that guy called Prime Minister Sunday. It's him. Holy Master 6 didn't even think about it and revealed Prime Minister Sunday. Alright, the ruler treats Prime Minister Sun well. But this Prime Minister Sun was actually so bold to collude with the demons. The country ruler will definitely not let him off. Prime Minister Liu, who was in the room, naturally heard what Holy Master 6 had said. This Prime Minister Sun was absolutely detiable. He had actually done such a thing. He was simply a sinner of the Jade Nether Kingdom. It would not be too much to drag such a person out and whip his corpse 100 times. At this moment, Saint Master 6 looked at Xiao Changtian with a trembling face. How could this man be so powerful? Why did he look like a mortal when he was at the Glorious Star Restaurant? How did things turn out like this? No wonder the demonic flame's sacred lord told him not to provoke Xiao Changtian. It seemed that he was really unlucky. Prime Minister Sun, how are you? Xiao Changtian also remembered this Prime Minister Sunday. Expert, I've already said it. Can you let me go now? Saint Sovereign 6 looked at Xiao Changtian in panic. He was really afraid that Xiao Changtian would beat him to death if he was unhappy. Fortunately, when he went to the Glorious Star Restaurant to look for trouble, he had taken someone else's body. If Xiao Changtian knew, he would have been the one looking for trouble. He would definitely not let her off easily. Walla walla. Just as Holy Master 6 finished speaking, the sound of other demons trying to enter could be heard from outside the wall. *CK. It was over. Why did he come at this time? This Xiao Chang'an was not to be trifled with. Upon hearing this commotion, Holy Master 6 was also stunned. It seemed like it was time for Prime Minister Sun to arrange for someone to look for the great elder of the Prophecy Pavilion. However, in the current situation, even if so many people came, They were still not Xiao Changshan's match. Xiao Changtian naturally noticed the commotion outside and immediately panicked. Why were there so many people? There were so many people. Even if he had so much cultivation, he would not be able to deal with them. You can go first. Chapter 887. It's actually Premier Sun, 1. Am I not clear enough? I want you all to retreat quickly. Holy Master 6 glanced at Prime Minister Sun and said loudly, Sir, why? We're so close now. As long as we can snatch the jade green saint stone from the great elder of the Heaven Secrets Pavilion, our mission will be complete. Why did they have to retreat at this time? Prime Minister Sun didn't know what had happened, or if it was because this demon lord's brain had gone crazy. There was only one step left, but he actually retreated just like that. What, Prime Minister Sun, are you not even going to listen to me now? Do you know how strong that person inside is? He actually dared to provoke them. However, I have to tell you some unfortunate news. They already know that you colluded with us. You'd better hurry home and prepare. Wait until tomorrow to see if your country's ruler will come to capture you. Holy Master 6 glanced at Prime Minister Sun and said indifferently. At first, he didn't want to expose Prime Minister Sun, but Xiao Changtian was too powerful. If he didn't expose Prime Minister Sun, he would have no chance to live. What, sir? How could you do this? Prime Minister Sun's anger was extinguished by Holy Master X's words. What he didn't expect was that this demon lord in front of him actually betrayed him. Sir, I want to know who the expert inside is that actually made you so afraid. Then, Premier Sun asked unwillingly. He didn't blame the demons for betraying him. He only blamed the expert that the demons spoke of for ruining his plans. That Xiao Changshan's strength isn't something you can imagine. Prime Minister Sun, I advise you to hurry back, pack your things and run. After saying that, Holy Master 6 ignored Prime Minister Sun and disappeared into the darkness. No, I have to go back as soon as possible. At this moment, Prime Minister Sun also reacted. If he continued to stay here, the country ruler would probably come looking for him very soon. They've all retreated. Then, Prime Minister Sun called the demons behind him and quickly retreated back to the place where they had come from. At this moment, Prime Minister Lu was already standing in front of the Jade Nether Kingdom's king. Ruler, Senior has already asked. It is Prime Minister Sun who colluded with the demon race. Prime Minister Lu said angrily to the Jade Nether Kingdom's king. I didn't expect Prime Minister Sun to do such a thing. Wait, Prime Minister Lu, how could the person colluding with the demons be Prime Minister Sun? He had also been violated by the demons. Also, who is this senior you're talking about? Could it be the senior that the great elder of the prophecy pavilion mentioned? The Jade Nether Kingdom's king was somewhat surprised. Aya, it's just a small matter. There's no need to be polite. I didn't expect to catch him so quickly. Xiao Changtian smiled in response to the Jade Nether Kingdom's king's politeness. He had thought that the situation in the Jade Nether Kingdom was so serious that this matter would be difficult to deal with. He did not expect it to be resolved so quickly. This was also beyond Xiao Changshan's expectations. Hearing Xiao Changshan's words, the Jade Nether Kingdom's king was extremely emotional. No wonder the Pavilion of Heavenly Secrets sent 2 people over this time. It was no wonder the people of the Secret Pavilion called this young man Senior. It turned out that this Senior was really not an ordinary person. Dealing with the demons was just a piece of cake for him. He was really short-sighted in the beginning. He actually thought that the Senior the Pavilion of Heavenly Secrets was talking about was immortal. He wondered if this Senior would mind that the Jade Nether Kingdom had not been too friendly to him in the beginning. If this Senior didn't forgive his previous bad attitude towards him, then the Jade Nether Kingdom would be in big trouble. Since the country ruler is like this, why don't you bring people to arrest this Prime Minister's son first? The Prophecy Pavilion's Grand Elder reminded the Jade Nether Kingdom's king. Chapter 888. I'm Wronged, 1. The Jade Nether Kingdom's king came to his senses after the Prophecy Pavilion's Grand Elder's reminder. Hence, he quickly brought his men in. Prime Minister Sun, come out. Stop hiding. I know what you've done. The Jade Nether Kingdom's king stood in Prime Minister Sun's residence and looked into his room as he spoke loudly. "Country ruler, I don't know what you're talking about. You dared to come here in the middle of the night. I don't know what's going on either." Premier Sun immediately walked out of the room after hearing the Jade Nether Kingdom's princess' words. "Prime Minister Sun, you still dare to quibble? Aren't you afraid of retribution for teaming up with the demon race?" After hearing Premier Sun's words, Premier Lu, who was standing beside the Jade Nether Kingdom's king, immediately stood up and said angrily. At first, Prime Minister Lu had thought that Prime Minister Sun was the same as him and had been persecuted by the demons. In the end, it was actually this Prime Minister Sun who had allied with the demon race. He was simply shameless. Prime Minister Lu doesn't have any evidence, so what right do you have to slander me? Although Premier Sun knew that the demon lord had betrayed him, Premier Lu only knew about it. There was no evidence to prove it. You want evidence? Isn't that simple? They'll search your residence now. He wanted to see if there were any traces of demons. The great elder of the Pavilion of Heavenly Secrets looked at Premier Sun with a serious expression. He didn't expect this person to be so stubborn even when he was about to die. "Alright, since you want to search, then search. Anyway, I'm not afraid of shadows. Country ruler, I can't be wronged for nothing." The reason why Prime Minister Sun was able to say these words so confidently was because he had already evacuated those demons in advance. Now, even if he searched his residence, he wouldn't be able to find a single demon. "Prime Minister Sun, I'm sorry. If there's news of the demons, we won't let them go." Search. The king of the Jade Nether Kingdom looked at Premier Sun and said slowly. He knew that this Prime Minister Sun was not that simple. Since he could collude with the demon race, it meant that he must have some skills. Also, since he said so, he must have been prepared. However, he couldn't just go back like this. Therefore, the Jade Nether Kingdom's king had to search this Prime Minister Sunday. "Ruler, since you think so, I have no choice but to allow you to search my residence." After Premier Sun finished speaking, he sized up the great elder of the Pavilion of Heavenly Secrets and the people following him, because he was guessing who could make that lord of the demon race so afraid. The great elder of the Pavilion of Heavenly Secrets was a saint king. However, it was not to the extent of making that demon lord afraid, right? As for the mortal beside Grand Elder Tian Chiga, there was no need to mention him. He was not a threat at all. Therefore, this could prove that the ruler had definitely found another expert to ambush the great elder of the Pavilion of Heavenly Secrets. Fortunately, that demon lord had informed him in advance. Otherwise, if he brought people in, he would definitely not have a good ending. Reporting to the country ruler, we didn't find any traces of the demon race in Prime Minister Sun's residence. After a while, someone came up to report. "Country ruler, I have already said that I was wronged." Premier Sun said with a smile. "I've long since evacuated all the demons. It would be strange if you could find them. You, Prime Minister Sun, must have planned this. This is too despicable." When Prime Minister Lu heard this, he became even angrier. He believed what the demon said, but he didn't know why this Prime Minister Sun was so fast. They had actually evacuated all the demons before they arrived. "Prime Minister Lu, I wonder where you heard that I colluded with the demons?" Looking at Prime Minister Lu, Prime Minister Sun's thoughts changed. Perhaps he could get some information from Prime Minister Lu. Of course it was Senior who taught that demon a lesson. Prime Minister Lu immediately said. As expected, the country ruler had invited another expert. It seemed that this expert's strength was very strong. He had to think of a way to deal with it first. This was because they did not know what the senior they were talking about was like. "Alright, since we've checked, let's go back first." The Jade Nether Kingdom's king looked at Prime Minister Sun and knew that there was no point in continuing to drag things out like this. Following that, the Jade Nether Kingdom's king led a group of people out of Prime Minister Sun's residence in a grandiose manner. "Ruler, are you going to forget about that Prime Minister's son so easily?" The Grand Elder of the Prophecy Pavilion asked in puzzlement as he watched the Jade Nether Kingdom's king leave with his men. "Great Elder, this matter is not as simple as you think. If I rashly arrest him without any evidence, The forces behind him will definitely not agree. When the time comes, he'll still have to let him go under pressure. The Jade Nether King shook his head and sighed. Although he also knew that Prime Minister's son must have something up his sleeves, now was not the time to arrest him. We'll discuss this matter tomorrow. It's already so late today. You guys go back and rest first. The Jade Nether Kingdom's king waved his hand at the great elder of the Prophecy Pavilion and Xiao Changtian before leaving. Senior, it seems like we can't resolve this matter so quickly. The Grand Elder of the Prophecy Pavilion sighed as he watched the Jade Nether Kingdom's king leave. It's fine. Now that we know that Prime Minister's son is the one who colluded with the demons, the following matters will be much easier to handle. Xiao Changtian wasn't too surprised. When he let Saint Lord 6 go, he had already guessed that the demon race would go back and inform Prime Minister Sunday. Senior, what should we do next? The great elder of the Prophecy Pavilion did not know how to deal with the current situation. After all, those demon race people had already escaped. It was impossible for him to chase them back. We can only observe here for a period of time. After all, we can't act rashly in such a situation. Xiao Changtian also sighed. It seemed that his plan to find the spiritual tree seed could only be put aside for a while. At this moment in the demon race. What? You piece of trash, you were actually beaten back by that Xiao Changtian. After Sacred Lord Demonic Flame heard Sacred Lord Hsax's report, anger instantly appeared on his face. This Saint Master 6 was really useless, and that Xiao Changtian kept ruining his plans. Did Sacred Lord Demonic Flame really think that he was easy to bully just because he didn't show his might? Chapter 889. It's again one. Demonic Flame. Holy Lord, I didn't expect things to turn out like this. I just want to teach that Xiao Chang a lesson. You said that Xiao Changshan's strength is very strong, but I didn't expect his strength to be that strong. Sacred Lord 6 said aggrievedly to Sacred Lord Demonic Flame. Useless trash. What was the situation in the Jade Nether Kingdom now? Was the Jade Green Saint Stone in the hands of the Great Elder of the Prophecy Pavilion? Sacred Lord Demonic Flame took a deep breath and asked Sacred Lord 6. It should be, but I don't know how Prime Minister's son is doing now. If that Prime Minister's son is smart, he shouldn't have been caught. Then, we might have some hope of getting the Jade Green Saint Rock. Sacred Lord 6 looked at Sacred Lord Demonic Flame and replied carefully. He had escaped from the jaws of death this time. It was already not bad to be able to survive, so he did not care about that Prime Minister's son at all. He didn't know what was going on with Prime Minister Sunday. If that's the case, then go to the Jade Underworld Kingdom again. You don't have to come back yourself. Sacred Lord Demonic Flame glared at Sacred Lord 6. If it wasn't for this Sacred Master 6 being so rash, there might have been some mistakes in this plan. Although Sacred Lord Six's status in the demon race was considered high, Sacred Lord Demonic Flame wouldn't let him off so easily just because of this. Sacred Lord Demonic Flame, Holy Master 6 didn't want to go to the Jade Nether Kingdom again. If he met Xiao Changtian again, he might not be so lucky. But, are you unwilling? Sacred Lord Demonic Flame glared at Sacred Lord 6. If Sacred Lord 6 dared to make any more excuses, Xiao Changtian wouldn't let him go. Even she would not let him go. After all, he had been reminding her at that time. He didn't want Holy Master 6 to find trouble with Xiao Changtian. However, this Sacred Master 6 just didn't listen to him. Why did he have to stir up trouble and disrupt the plan? All right, I'll go, Sacred Lord 6 said helplessly when he saw Sacred Lord Demonic Flame's furious expression. Looking at Sacred Lord Demonic Flame's expression, if he didn't agree quickly, he wouldn't have a good ending either. After Sacred Master 6 left, the demon god Saintess smiled as she watched him leave. Mo Yen, do you really think that sixth brother can get the Jade Green Saint Stone? The demonic god Saintess said with a smile as she looked at Sacred Lord Demonic Flame. Then what should we do? In this situation, I can only let sixth brother go. However, I really didn't expect sixth brother to be so disappointing. Demonic Eye Sacred Lord took a deep breath. I know that the Jade Green Saint Rock is very important, but that Xiao Changtian has ruined my plans time and time again. Why don't we do it this way? How about we send a saintess to assist Holy Master 6? The saintess also knew that if she wanted to get the jade green saint stone, Saint Lord 6 alone wouldn't be able to defeat Xiao Changtian. She might as well send some of her own people. Of course, if you want, you can send a powerful saintess. Otherwise, you won't be able to deal with Xiao Changtian. Sacred Lord Demonic Flame had been waiting for the saintess to say this. He couldn't do anything to Xiao Changtian by himself. However, if the saintess and Sacred Lord combined, the power they could unleash would be enormous. This was the reason why the demons were divided into Sacred Lords and Saintesses. No matter how weak the Sacred Lords and Saintesses were, as long as the two combined, they could unleash shocking strength. I understand. When the time comes, you'll get Saintess 3 to assist Holy Master 6. The demonic god Saintess turned around and left. Although a Saint Lord had several Saintesses under him, the Saintesses under the Saintess were different. If they could be taught by the Saintess herself, they were all very powerful. Therefore, Sacred Lord Demonic Flame was very satisfied with Saintess Demonic sending Saintess 3 to assist Sacred Lord 6. At that time, in the Jade Underworld Kingdom, "Ruler, what should we do next?" It was because he did not know if that demon would make a comeback. I feel that the demon won't let this go until he gets the Jade Green Saint Stone. Prime Minister Lu stood in front of the Jade Nether Kingdom's king and said to him, "Senior, how can you see this matter?" After hearing Prime Minister Liu's words, the Jade Nether King turned around and asked Xiao Changtian. Ever since Prime Minister Lu had told him about Xiao Changshan's power, the Jade Nether Kingdom's king had viewed Xiao Changtian as the Jade Nether Kingdom's life-saving straw. I don't have any other good methods, but if I meet demons again, I'll definitely fight them," Xiao Changtian said awkwardly. With his current strength, he did not dare to show off in front of the Jade Nether Kingdom's king. That's right. Senior's strength is so strong. He doesn't even need to think of any strategy. He can solve everything with force. After hearing Xiao Changshan's words, the Jade Nether Kingdom's king sighed in his heart. If anyone had the strength of Senior, they would not have to fear the devil race. It seems that we have to consider this matter carefully. The demons will definitely not make any moves in the next 2 days. Therefore, we can only observe for 2 days. The great elder of the secret pavilion slowly replied after hearing the discussion between the two of them. In any case, as long as this matter was not completed, they would not leave. Great elder, Senior, I really have to thank you for this. If it weren't for you, we wouldn't have known that Prime Minister Sun was colluding with the demon race. The Jade Nether Kingdom's king thanked the two of them once again. Meanwhile, outside the Jade Nether country, that Xiao Changshan's strength is not to be underestimated. You must not have a love rival. Looking at the saintess in front of him, Saint Lord 6 reminded her kindly. He had been tortured by Xiao Changtian because he had underestimated his opponent. He didn't know if this proud saintess would persuade him. The demon god saintess told me, "Let me deal with it properly, but I feel that even if that Xiao Changtian is very strong, how strong can he be? Have I already achieved victory in my heart? Could it be that his strength had reached Saint Emperor?" As expected, Holy Maiden 3 didn't care about Holy Master Sax's kind reminder, because she didn't believe that she was at the strength of Glory Sect. With her strength, there was still someone she couldn't deal with. That Xiao Changtian was at most a Saint King. Even if he had the strength of a Saint King, as long as he combined with Saint Lord 6, he would naturally be able to unleash the strength of a Saint King. At that time, would he still have to worry about not being able to kill Xiao Changtian? However, it's best to be careful. Holy Master 6 did not want to suffer a second loss. Chapter 890, Going Out for a Walk, 1. At this moment, Prime Minister Sun was pacing back and forth in his residence. "Skinny monkey, what do you think that demon race person meant? They actually sold me out from the beginning. To think that I even tried my best to help them. It's simply too infuriating." Although Prime Minister Sun managed to avoid a calamity, the more he thought about how Holy Master 6 had betrayed him, the angrier he became. Prime Minister, after all, the demon race is so powerful that we are not their match. However, they did not get what they wanted this time, so they will definitely attack again. Shouho looked at Prime Minister Sun and said slowly. He thought that Prime Minister Sun had already obtained the Jade Green Saint Stone, but he didn't expect that Prime Minister Sun was almost captured. So you mean that the demons will come to me again to cooperate? Premier Sun asked in surprise. If nothing goes wrong, the demon race will definitely find someone familiar to cooperate with. At that time, won't you be able to make good use of them? Skinny Monkey thought so, but he didn't know what was going on with the demon race. After a few days of peace, the streets of the Jade Nether Kingdom gradually became lively. Great Elder, we have nothing to do these few days. Why don't we go to the streets of the Jade Nether Kingdom tonight? Xiao Changqian, who had been here for a few days, was also a little anxious, so he asked the Great Elder of the Pavilion of Heavenly Secrets. Senior, you can do whatever you want. The Great Elder of the Pavilion of Heavenly Secrets nodded at Xiao Changtan. On the other side, Saintess 3 and Holy Master 6 had once again found Prime Minister Sunday. Yo, two demon lords, I wonder what business you have here? Looking at the two people who suddenly came knocking, Premier Sun smiled hypocritically at them. Although Prime Minister Sun was very angry because of what happened last time, the strength of the two demon lords was very terrifying. He could not afford to offend them at all. Therefore, Prime Minister Sun did not intend to fall out with them. Prime Minister Sun, I know that I let you down last time, but don't be too angry. After all, you haven't gotten the throne yet. Holy Master 6 said to Prime Minister Sun with a smile. But Prime Minister Sun, we're looking for you this time. We don't need you to do much. As long as you help us lure the Great Elder and Xiao Changtian to our designated place, we will naturally take action. Prime Minister Sun frowned when he heard the words of Holy Master 6. As long as you can help us lure these two to our place, our demonic flame sacred lord has said that we will definitely not treat you unfairly. At that time, not only will you be the ruler of the Jade Nether Kingdom, but you will also have a place in the demon race. Saint Master 6 looked at Prime Minister Sun's serious face and immediately said again. This time, they had set up an inescapable net. As long as Xiao Changtian and the Great Elder of the Pavilion of Heavenly Secrets were there, they would definitely not be able to escape. After all, this time, Saint Lord 6 and Saint Lady 3 had joined forces to set up a blood formation to trap humans. As long as one entered this formation, no matter if it was a saint ruler or a saint emperor, they would be unable to escape. They didn't believe that they couldn't get the Jade Green Saint Stone and do anything to Xiao Changtian. Since you said so, I'll believe you again. I can help you lure the Great Elder of the Pavilion of Heavenly Secrets and that person to that place. After thinking for a while, Premier Sun nodded at the two of them. Because looking at the two people in front of him, if he did not agree, he was afraid that he would not have a good ending. It was better to agree first. After all, these two demon race people said that the conditions were so good. In the end, after the discussion between the two sides, they finally reached an agreement. Prime Minister, we've received news that the Great Elder of the Pavilion of Heavenly Secrets and his lackeys are leaving the palace today. Isn't this a good opportunity for us? After a while, Skinny Monkey brought good news. Since that's the case, it's just right for our operation. Although we don't know where that expert is, as long as we lure them to the designated location of the demon race, we don't have to worry about them. Prime Minister Sun murmured. In the evening, Xiao Changtian and the Great Elder of the Pavilion of Heavenly Secrets entered a market that didn't look too prosperous. I heard that this store is opened by Prime Minister Sunday. After walking into the market, the Great Elder of the Pavilion of Heavenly Secrets said to Xiao Cheng. No wonder it was opened by the Prime Minister Sunday. Look, this small beast bone is worth so many gold coins. Xiao Changtian looked at the goods beside him and said slowly, My two guests, what do you want to see? We have everything here. We have all kinds of treasured beast bones. Come in and take a look. As the two of them walked in the mall, people kept coming forward to promote their products. The two of you, do you dare to be interested in the demons? At this moment, a voice suddenly made their bodies tremble. Then, the two of them looked at that person in unison. No, please don't misunderstand. I have an ancestral artifact here. As long as you hold that artifact, you can identify the demon race people around you at any time. I just saw that the two of you looked like demon hunters, so I asked. If you're not interested, they'll just leave. Seeing the two of them looking at him in unison, the person immediately explained. There's such a thing? Senior, why don't we go and take a look? The great elder of the Pavilion of Heavenly Secrets was instantly interested because he knew that if the devil race possessed an ordinary person, if not for the Pavilion Master's ability to identify the devil race's cultivation, no one would have noticed it. He had never thought that there would be such a thing. The great elder of the secret pavilion had to go and take a look no matter what. Xiao Changtian didn't have any objections and followed the great elder of the Pavilion of Heavenly Secrets. Prime Minister, this move of yours is still the best. As long as Jiang and the other two are lured over, our mission will be considered completed. Shou Ho and Premier Sun stood in the distance and laughed as they watched the scene. All right, the matter is almost over. Let's follow and take a look. Prime Minister Sun walked over with a smile. The great elder of the Pavilion of Heavenly Secrets and Xiao Changtan followed the person in front of them and walked further and further away. Hey boss, why are you taking us to somewhere? Looking at the surrounding scene, the great elder of the Prophecy Pavilion asked in confusion. Sir, I've already said that this is an ancestral treasure. I definitely won't put it out easily. That person said with a smile after hearing the great elder's words. Xiao Changtian, who was behind him, didn't think too much. After all, the great elder of the Pavilion of Heavenly Secrets wouldn't be able to get such a thing at a cheap price. The Pavilion of Heavenly Secrets was the richest. Chapter 891, Bloodthirsty Array, 1. Hiss, wait a moment, First Elder, you go first. I have a little urgent need to pee now, so I'll catch up with you guys in a while. After Xiao Changtian finished speaking to the two of them, he ran away. In that case, let's go first. The great elder of the Prophecy Pavilion did not care too much because he wanted to see where this person was taking him. The great elder had already sensed that something was wrong when he left the mall. However, when he saw that Senior was still following the person in front of him defenseless, the great elder of the secret pavilion knew. Senior must have seen through this person's scheme, but he didn't want to expose it. He wanted to see what this person was going to do next. Just now, Senior said that he wanted to go to the toilet, so he must have gone to prepare something. Therefore, he did not have to worry about what tricks the person in front of him would play. On the other side, little Changtian quickly squatted down in the grass. It's so comfortable. I don't know what I ate, but I actually have diarrhea. Xiao Changtian said emotionally. This was really a delay. After cleaning up his mess, he had to hurry and find the great elder of the Prophecy Pavilion. He wondered what the great elder of the Prophecy Pavilion wanted. It actually made the great elder of the Prophecy Pavilion so interested. Immediately, Xiao Changtian put on his pants and chased after him. On the other side, Saint Lord 6 and Saint Daughter 3 had been waiting there for a long time. Do you think that Prime Minister Sun is reliable? It's been so long, why hasn't he brought her here yet? Seeing that it was still empty in the distance, the third saintess said impatiently, You have to believe that Prime Minister Sun won't lie to us. After all, that fellow was counting on the fact that the clan was going to help him obtain the position of the country's ruler. Holy Master 6 waved his hand indifferently. A person like Prime Minister Sun was the easiest to manipulate. As long as he was tempted by some conditions, he would definitely be unable to resist. Yo, look, isn't that person here? At this moment, Prime Minister Sun's men walked over with the great elder of the Pavilion of Heavenly Secrets. Boss, where are you taking me? There was nothing in this place. It was pitch black. Is this where your house is? Seeing that his surroundings were becoming more and more desolate, the first elder of the Prophecy Pavilion's expression became solemn. As expected, Senior must have guessed it long ago, that's why he let me follow first. However, so what if this person is powerful? As long as he dared to make a move, Senior would definitely take him down. Sir, don't worry. We'll be there soon. This person turned around to look at the first elder and said with a smile, "Ha, great elder of the prophecy pavilion, I didn't expect you to fall into our trap in the end." Not long after the great elder followed that person, he suddenly heard the words of the demon race. "Demon race people, I knew you guys hadn't given up yet." Hearing this, first elder also reacted. So that person was sent by the fiend race. However, where did Xiao Changtian go? Saint Lord 6 said in surprise when he saw that there was only the first elder of the prophecy pavilion. Originally, he had set up this inescapable net to capture these two people in one fell swoop. He did not expect that there was only the great elder of the prophecy pavilion now. You must be dumbfounded. Senior has long seen through your scheme, so he didn't come. You want us to fall into the hands of your demon race? Senior won't agree. With Xiao Changtian backing him up, the great elder of the Pavilion of Heavenly Secrets wasn't afraid even though the demon race was very strong. "You old man, do you really think we can't do anything to you?" The third saintess said angrily when she heard the first elder's arrogant words. "Hurry up and hand over the jade green Saint Rock. Otherwise, we won't let you off easily. Or do you want to test our power?" The holy maiden said threateningly as she looked at the great elder of the prophecy pavilion. The reason why she could say such words so confidently was not because she was not afraid of the great elder's strength, but because the great elder was already standing on the killing formation they had set up. As long as Saintess 3 and Holy Lord 6 worked together to activate the array formation under the great elder's feet, the great elder would definitely be unable to escape this time. Do you really think that Senior will let your demon race off so easily? Let me tell you, Senior went to make preparations just now. Just you wait. The great elder of the prophecy pavilion said disdainfully. He wanted to see what kind of power the two of them could unleash. However, we are not that stupid. Since you have said so, don't blame us for being impolite. In fact, Saint Lord 6 wasn't stupid. If Xiao Changtian used any more power, they would have to divert their attention to deal with him. They might as well take the jade green saint stone from the great elder of the Heaven's Secret Pavilion. Sixth brother, activate the killing formation. Looking at the great elder of the prophecy pavilion, the third saintess did not hesitate and quickly stretched out her palm to draw an unknown symbol in the air. Saint Lord 6 didn't hesitate and followed Saint Lady 3's movements, quickly jumping into the air. Demon bloodthirsty formation. Rise. The two of them looked at the place where the great elder of the prophecy pavilion was standing and shouted, "Boom! Boom!" At this moment, the dim moonlight turned into a strange bloody light, covering the entire sky. As for the great elder of the prophecy pavilion, his feet began to tremble violently after the two of them stopped talking. Not only the ground, but even the great elder of the prophecy pavilion had a violent wind blowing beside him. Shoo shoo! At this moment, even the trees around the pavilion of heavenly secrets swayed violently because of the strong wind. What? Demon bloodthirsty formation. When the great elder of the prophecy pavilion heard the name of the array formation, his expression instantly changed. After the great elder of the prophecy pavilion heard the name of this array formation, it was simply like thunder piercing his ears. Everyone in the Jade Lake sacred world knew that the most famous array of the fiend race was the bloodthirsty array of the fiend race. If the fiend race used this bloodthirsty array, no matter how strong one's cultivation was, they would be devoured by this bloodthirsty array. Now that the two of them had used such a formation on him, it seemed like the Jade Green Saint Rock was extremely important to the demon race. This old man will give you one last chance. If you hand over the Jade Green Saint Rock, we might leave your corpse intact. Holy Master 6 looked at the great elder of the prophecy pavilion and threatened. In his array, even the Saint King level Grand Elder of the Pavilion of Heavenly Secrets was like an ant that he could manipulate. You must be dreaming. Even if you kill me, you won't get the Jade Green Saint Stone. Although the great elder of the prophecy pavilion was trapped in this array formation, he quickly calmed down because he knew that Senior would definitely come to save him. Moreover, the Jade Green Saint Rock was not on him at all. You're tuning in to the Passion Pages YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.